Mic check 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2 3.
Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2.
Mic check 1 2. No, pretty good.
At this time, we'd like to thank our sponsors for this season. First sponsor for Under the Lights is Crawfish House and Grill, located at 1214 South Union Street in Opelousas, now under new ownership. Come dine with them for some great Cajun hospitality and cuisine, now featuring happy hour on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Now tell them Under the Lights sent you on by. Daryl's next sponsor. Since 1985, they have grown into a sit-down restaurant with a drive-through and full-service bar. They pride themselves on serving enticing po' boys that include surf and turf, Daryl Special, and barbecue. All of their staff works hard to create an inviting and welcoming atmosphere. Come see why Daryl's in Lake Charles has the best po' boys in the state. 119 West College Street.
I don't know.
Shout out to Coach Kip Dupasham, wherever you're watching tonight. Sending love from Under the Lights. Lejay's Polish Shop. Superior of fine polished goods. Contact Darren Leger at 337-517-8686 for all your carports, accessories, restoration, aluminum, stainless steel, copper, and brass. Tell them that Underlight sent you on by. They are located in Abbeville, Louisiana. Tiger Tails, locally owned crawfish business located in Port Barre and soon to have a second location in the Sunset area. Call Daniel Francis at 337-351-1064 for boiled and live crawfish. When the season rolls back around, you will not be disappointed. Our player of the game sponsor, Whips Prints with Mr. Webster Manifest. Custom apparel, substrate designs. Owner Kenneth Whip Beverly is located in Abbeville and Crowley, Louisiana. With all your heat transfer sublimation shirt design needs, you can follow him on Facebook or Instagram. Give him a call at 337-581-6631, your player of the game sponsor. The Paint Guys, they are a local professional painting company that provides commercial and residential painting. They paint metal roofs, metal businesses, homes, businesses. They also restore tongue and grove. Give them a call at 337-352-0308, located in Lafayette, Louisiana.
Okay, this is Gary Swallow with Tiger Rock Martial Arts in Opelousas, Louisiana, teaching life skills and personal development for men, women, and children of all ages. We start them as young as 4. If you're interested in all your martial arts needs, give us a call at 337-948-3433. We'd love to have you come down and try a free class.
Thank you so much to all of our sponsors here in week 9. One more sponsor to talk about. And it's Bird's Eye Insurance. Call Alex Fontenot with Bird's Eye Insurance, having endless options. He will shop all of your insurance needs, finding you the best price with the best coverage. He will make you a friend rather than just a client. Tell Mr. Alex Fontenot that all of us at Under Lights sent you on by. Ready, guys?
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to week 9 edition of high school football here in the state of Louisiana. We are live here in Opelousas, Louisiana, home of Mr. Gary Swallow's Taekwondo Martial Arts in Opelousas, Louisiana. You just heard from the main man himself, Mr. Gary Swallow. If you want to come try out a class, please feel free to come on down and meet with Mr. Gary Swallow. Folks, we got a lot to talk about. Little time. You better have your raincoats ready for this week, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it's going to be a little damp.
Have a lot of teams that done took matters into their own hands and have shifted things to Thursday night. 20-plus games moved to Thursday night this week. So we have to keep an eye out on that, see who's playing on different days. We got a couple canceled games so far we got to talk about. A lot to get into. It's senior night across the state of Louisiana. The district race is up for grabs in playoff spots or there for the taking. You go into week 9, Mr. Swallow, and you know a lot is on the line this week rankings-wise.
Most definitely.
Rankings matter this time of the year because where you draw into the playoffs is something that you have to keep an eye out on.
You're right. I mean, this is going to be a shuffle all the way up until the end of the final week. So it's going to be crazy, but I think it's going to be exciting. The new format is getting more and more exciting every week because everybody keeps moving around.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the chat tonight. We got headlines to talk about, rankings to talk about, teams that are on the bubble to talk about, and also we pick games from around the state. We pick our locals, and we also pick some good ones from around the state of Louisiana.
You're right.
Thursday night, we have a district championship game right here in front of us. St. Louis and Iowa for the district title at Matt Walker Memorial Stadium. So glad to have that game broadcast on our platform. Very grateful for the coaching staff and the administration for giving us the chance to broadcast that game Thursday night. And then Friday night, it's number 1, it's number 2 at Screaming Eagle Stadium as Central Catholic and Vermilion Catholic battle it out, and we can't wait to witness history that night.
That's going to be one of the most exciting games that we've covered this year, and I think it's going to be a barn burner. Both teams vying for their district championship and to position themselves, for the playoffs. But I mean, they're both going to be in good spots for the playoffs no matter what.
And if we had a Central Catholic and Vermilion Catholic helmet, it would be front and center right here with us.
Most definitely.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jordan Taylor. This is Gary Swallow. No Keith Crozier tonight, so if you see me getting up in the middle of the show, that means I'm controlling the system from behind the scenes and also doing the talking tonight. Right. Our guest picker for tonight, ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard this man here on my left, your right. He's going to go ahead and introduce himself now, 9 weeks into the season, begging to get on the show. You ain't got to beg no more, my friend. Week 9, you're here. Let everyone know who you are, where you're from, and how did you get up to this point.
All right. First, I want to say thank y'all for having me on the show. It's a pleasure. It's a privilege, an honor. My name is Enoch Brogy.
What a name.
Yeah, no kidding. It's very much a unique name. I lived in Kankton, Louisiana my whole life. Went to Beauchamp High School, graduated in 2014. Played football for a couple years over there. And as of right now, I've been doing the stats for the Beauchamp football program for about 6 years now. I did it my junior and senior year, then I took a break, and then I came back. So, but I've been checking out this show this year at various points or whatnot, and it seemed like something I would like to try to guest pick or whatnot. I definitely try to follow as many of the high school games from around this area and even a little bit outside of it as well. So, like I said, thanks again for having me on here. It's been a pretty good week for me. I turned 28 yesterday, and I get to add on to it by being on the show. So,
well, happy birthday.
Happy birthday for sure, and welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Gary, he said it's a pretty good week for him. I got a pretty good week in store this week.
This guy's got a real good week coming up for this young man right here to my left, your right. We're excited about a lot of things, but you're going to be walking down the aisle and saying, I do.
Yep. So we're covering a game Friday night and then wake up Saturday morning. Let's go get married.
Let's go get married. I know. Can't wait to be a part of that. Thank you for having me a part of that as well as this. But it's going to be a great weekend for everybody.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to be on this show sitting where he's at, right there, making picks with us, playoffs are right around the corner, shoot us a message, and let's get you on this show. We only got 5 weeks of the playoffs plus state championships, so we can't have all 27 of you.
Right.
So we'll try to work out something. But I know I got a couple of the guys coming back on for the playoffs. Mr. Chris, Mr. Alex will be coming back on. So we'll talk a little bit more about that moving forward. Initial thoughts from week 8, my friends.
Man, my initial thoughts are pretty simple. That it was an exciting week, It was a lot of good football all the way around, a lot of upsets, a lot of games that went down to the wire that were not really upsets. Just a lot of excitement, and I'm gonna tell
Absolutely.
you, I think it's getting better and better. But the sad part is it's coming to an end, man. We're already in week 9, and it just seems like we were starting it off with week 1. A couple of days ago. I mean, it's sad, but you know what? That's the way it goes.
Turn your
Yeah, I was keeping up with a lot of the games as far as last week goes. My eyes were definitely looking at Opelousas and Cecilia for our district's de facto district title game. I had Opelousas coming out on top. Initial thoughts, I kind of thought maybe if Solari wasn't injured, I think it could have went the other way. But it was tight the whole way through. I know it was a real battle. I also saw a few.
It took 2 trick plays for Cecilia to score that night.
Oh wow!
Right,
Okay.
it did.
That game was pretty much dominated by OHS.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was working the game myself, so I wasn't able to watch the live feed, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I had saw after the game, I checked some of the scores from around the area. I saw Woodlawn was up on Catholic BR, and Catholic BR eventually got the game-winning touchdown to avoid that scare. Another game that was really close down to the wire was Pine Prairie at Northwest. Pine Prairie was up by 3.
Right.
Well, in the fourth as well, and then Northwest scores at the very end in order to preserve the victory and avoid a major upset.
What a game!
Yeah.
Right, and then there was one other. I believe it was Madison Prep going to Warren Easton, and that was
20-14.
by
Yeah,
all
that
of
was a
accounts
ball
that was a dogfight, and I think I might have picked Madison Prep to win that one, but I mean, there's no shame in being wrong on that one. Those are 2 fantastic teams.
You can't forget about that St. Thomas More Turlings matchup.
Right.
35-30.
35-30.
IOA squeaking by
Uh.
Lake Charles College Prep 17-16. So many good games
Right.
Oh,
last
absolutely.
week for sure.
Yep.
Like I said, there was a lot of upsets, but there was a lot of games that were just nail biters, and those are the ones that could have went either way. And I was excited to, I was not excited to have to pick one of them because I didn't do as well as I wanted to. But I mean, at this time of the year with the teams that we have that we're picking, man, it can go either way. So great job so far.
All right, let's check on headlines from last week. Any headlines y'all have before I get started?
No, man, you get it.
Don't think I have anything right now, so yeah, you're good, man.
All right, how about some congratulations to a lot of players from around the state of Louisiana that have made the all-academic composite team that will be honored at halftime of their respected state championship game.
I think that's awesome. And every time they do that, it makes me just so proud of these guys.
Now, I don't have the complete list. Gary Swallow and Mr. Statman. I'm not even gonna attempt his name tonight, Gary.
Brogy. That's
Brogy.
the last name,
Just,
so that
Brogy.
works.
just say Brochi.
Broachy it is.
That's all that's all you need, man.
I don't have all of the guys that made this great honor. This is all the ones that I found by scrolling on social media. So let's just recognize some of those guys and some of those teams. Starting off with Kinder. Kinder welcomes Graham Fawcett and Cameron Storr to the all-academic team. Congratulations.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep.
That anytime you can do that, the athletics is great, but when you do something, when you're such a big part of your team, and then you're recognized academically, man, that's awesome. That's a positive thing.
Elijah Harper from Red River makes the all-academic
wow.
team.
Nice.
They were down there. Good
Coach's
job.
son.
Hey.
4.0 for all 4 years of high school football.
That is amazing.
Absolutely.
Sulphur High School lands 3 on the academic composite all-state team. So that's 3. A lot of teams out there don't have any. Some have 1. That's a big number there with 3.
Yeah, when you see big numbers like that, that means, they really put their academics, on top.
And I think this next team might have had the most out of anybody in the state of Louisiana. Somebody can correct me on that if there's somebody else. But Westminster of Lafayette, Gary Swallow, lands 4 on the all-academic composite state team. Congratulations.
Really? That's
Wow.
awesome. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Let's keep that going. East Beauregard lands 3 on the all-academic team.
East Bow, go ahead. Congratulations, East Bow.
Lake Charles College Prep lands a guy on the all-composite team, Eric Bellany.
Wow.
Nice.
Well, that's amazing. Anytime you get on that position and where you recognize like that, oh man.
So many more throughout the state of Louisiana will be honored at halftime at the state championship in the Superdome. Amazing accomplishment. 4 years of high school football, 4 years of 4.0s, Gary and Mr.
That's great.
Brochi.
Brochi.
Brochi. Let me write this down, Mr. Brochi.
Brochi.
Broggi. Brogi.
Brochi.
Yes, sir.
Got it. I ain't gonna miss it.
It's a very old school Italian last name. So
Hey,
How
nothing
about,
wrong with that.
how about Peabody High School coach Harry Coleman goes on the road, stuns Grant in a shootout, 48-44. The change that man has made in a short period of time. Congratulations of all the accomplishments to come and what he's done in year 1 over there.
nothing short of spectacular. Because I know Grant has a pretty good program going on. We actually went on the road to play Grant last year, and we drove it into overtime, and they were able to come away with the victory in that game. But that was a fantastic game. I think it was 42-36 was the final. But Grant had a pretty good team. They had a lot of tenacious guys, a lot of guys that I know that ended up carrying over from last year that are that much better. So, but I knew that game against Peabody, kind of looking at it, I was like, this could be a really good game. Looking at it last week, and turns out it was.
Right.
Right.
You got district championship games all across the state of Louisiana. Caldwell Parish and Gina will meet in the District 2-3A championship Thursday night or Friday night. I'm not really sure. They have a lot of games moved.
Yeah, they did move a lot of
St.
them because of weather.
Louis,
Didn't hear anything about that one being moved.
St. Louis and Iowa will meet in the district championship game. Ladies and gentlemen, if you know any more district title games across the state of Louisiana, go ahead and list them now in the chat. My father-in-law says my baby boy, my son's watching right now. He's probably sitting in the middle of the living room just listening to his daddy talk.
Probably so. He recognized that voice.
How about a basketball score here as Benton outscores Hawkton 78-71. Boy, if you're a defensive coordinator, you're not getting much sleep.
No, not at all.
But if
Not at all.
But if you're an offensive coordinator, boy, you're feeling good about your offense going into week 9, huh?
You're right.
78 points, but you give up 71.
But the thing about it is that we were talking about that. They were 1 point short of the most overall points, because I think the overall was 90-60. We talked about that. Somebody told us that last week.
I remember seeing that last week, actually,
And
or hearing about it.
this one, 90-60. Well, that's 150 points. Well, this is 149 points. So that was 1 point away from the record.
How good is Benton's offense? Because they've been in a couple games like this year where they have scored outstanding points in the night. So I don't really know what's going on in Benton, but boy, they can play some offense.
Yes, they can.
Absolutely.
They can. Man, they just know how to light up that scoreboard.
That's almost like video game numbers where you crank it up on Madden, you do 15-minute quarters with a friend and no accelerated clock, and y'all are just throwing bombs the entire way through the game.
There you
Right,
go.
you're right.
How about Karen Crow? You like the Bears, Mr. Swallow?
I sure did, and I sure do.
They got a big one on Thursday night
Right.
when they
Well,
welcome in the Wrecking Rams. A
Oh,
big contest.
And that's
Absolutely.
another team that I like a whole lot.
Yeah.
So I got to
two of your
Whew,
favorites are
man.
playing this week.
and
How about Karen Crow's offense, though? That's the headline this week. Karen Crow's offense explodes in a 72-55 burst against Sam Houston. What a night for the Bears.
That's a really big that was a really big week. But with the inclement weather coming in, even though they're going to be playing tomorrow, I mean it's supposed to rain Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
I think we're in the clear for
we're in
Thursday.
the clear for Thursday. Well,
Good
that's
for
going to be
tomorrow.
good. That's going to be a lot better for their offense. So, man, that's going to be an interesting ball game. You know, you got DeVere, and you got
A little bit of both.
a little bit of both on there. So look out.
As long as our game, as long as Beauchamp's game versus Hanson stays on Friday, I have every intention on being at the Acadiana Karen Crow game tomorrow night.
That
I
is
have every
gonna
intention of making that game.
That's going to be an exciting ball game.
Absolutely.
If you know the radio broadcast or the live stream for that one, send them our way so we
Yes.
can watch or listen ourselves.
And that's at the Open Air Crow Dome. So look out.
Yep.
Sure is. So we just talked about two headlines, ladies and gentlemen. We said 78 to 71, 72 to 55. Well, this next headline has nothing to do with offense.
Not at all.
Archbishop Rummel and Brother Martin met last week, and the final score. Rummel and Brother Martin deliver a defensive a classic that ended 3-0.
Wow. Rumble
That-
won that game?
Uh-uh.
Brother Martin did? Okay.
That amazes me that you're going to have two great ball clubs and their defenses rise to the occasion to where you have a 3-0 ball game. Oh my God.
I know a lot of people would say that that's kind of a snoozer or something like that. I know a lot of people nowadays like to watch offense go, but I think it's just a different kind of I think it's just a different kind of game whenever it's just two defenses making plays, stopping teams on third down, getting to the quarterback, pressuring quarterbacks as well as the receivers, messing up timing on the routes. It's a beautiful thing to see whenever you see two defenses just not wanting to give an inch and are willing to tear each other apart.
Yeah.
Or to
Yeah.
tear the offenses apart.
Yeah.
I mean, in order to say that, hey, we got the victory.
Yeah.
It's because of us.
That's that old school football, Gary. There's still defense being played
Yes.
as we transition into the new era of high school football.
Yeah, and I'm going to
Still
tell
beautiful.
you, I love defense, and, you know, the old saying, defense wins championships.
Absolutely true.
And I'm going to tell you, you know, you might have the most explosive offense, but if you got a defense that can hang with you, ooh, buddy, makes everything hard.
Flips everything upside down, or could possibly flip everything upside down.
Correct.
What we got?
How about Evangel? Storied program has never had turf. Not until
Not-
they played in that mud fest.
I heard they were getting that. Oh, yeah.
Evangel will debut their brand new turf field for their homecoming game this coming Friday night. Have you seen a picture of their new stadium? Beautiful out there.
I did.
I haven't yet.
I haven't yet, but I'm gonna tell you right now. Evangel, you know, they've got it going, and I know they've been down for a little bit, but look out, they're gonna come back.
And you would think as many championship runs they've made, this should have been done years ago.
Oh, most definitely. I think they should have had this. With the success that they've had in their years, they should have had this a long time ago. But, you know, they didn't, and it took that that swamp that they played in, that slop fest. I mean, I'm sorry, the pictures of that was just unbelievable to see. You couldn't tell which team was which. They were
Yeah.
all full of
Yeah.
mud. It's unbelievable.
It looked like one of those old school games in black and white where it's the mud anyway, and then like it's hard to tell as it is,
Well, you
even without the mud, and then it just makes it that much harder to tell who is who.
you could tell who was who that night because Evangel changed uniforms at halftime.
Yeah, I heard that.
Okay. I
They
didn't know
did.
about that. I did not hear about that.
But they still got muddy.
Yeah.
Right.
How about some love for the kickers, ladies and gentlemen? We like to announce kickers on this show. We're gonna start off with Cedar Creek. Cedar Creek's 8th grade kicker now is 38 of 39 for extra points on the season and 3 for 4 on field goals. Congratulations, the young man has a bright future ahead of him.
You're right on that.
8th
I love
grade.
Kickers.
amazing.
I love kickers.
Oh yeah. Hopefully there's a scholarship for him in college in a few years. Keeps it up.
And I know you love this next kicker, Gary Swallow.
Oh, yes.
Ross Cortez from Basile High School.
Yep.
One of our favorite kickers we've ever got a chance to watch in person.
Mm-hmm.
Ross Cortez makes his first official field goal last week against Port Barry. A huge moment in that kid's life. He is always going to remember his first.
Right.
A lot more to come.
But let me tell you something. I mean, look at his extra points. I mean, he was pretty doggone good on extra points because they've been scoring touchdowns. They haven't needed him for that. And then now he makes his first one. I'm going to tell you that young man has a bright future.
Yeah, you gotta think that Coach Bertrand has that in his back pocket where we can rely and count on Cortez if the game comes down to it.
Right, and that's what it's about.
Gary, not sure if you've seen this next headline. It was posted earlier. Vinton High School has to forfeit this week's game, Week 9 game against Welsh. The injuries have caught up to Vinton. Not enough players to dress out for the Week 9 game. Welsh is awarded the forfeit. Greyhounds move to 8-0 on the year.
I didn't see that, but I kind of figured that was coming because their numbers are down, and I mean they're really struggling overall as a program. But you don't want to see injury cause stuff like that. I feel sorry for Vinton, and I wish them the best of luck to recover from this downtime.
Same.
Many games throughout the state of Louisiana moved to 30. After I got done talking, is 20-plus games moved to Thursday night.
Really?
Because of projected weather on Friday night. Gary, I guess we're going to have to pop us up a tent, get the raincoats ready, and have the umbrellas and towels ready because we're going to cover that game one way or another Friday night.
You're right. I mean, we're gonna have the tent up, and we're gonna be somewhere, and we're gonna get everything situated, and we just got to make sure that we can stay dry. But I think the predictions is all earlier in the day, so hopefully by game time everything will be over with.
Yeah, and hopefully 5:30 Saturday evening it's out of the way too.
Yes, you're right about that.
It's open.
All those good tuxedos are going to be wet.
Gary, you love October because the teams, they go and they honor the breast cancer
Correct.
around the state, correct?
Well, yeah. I mean, I have some personal issues involved in that. It's not just breast cancer because, I mean, I've had relatives. I'm not going to go into all of them, but I've had relatives very close to me that passed away with breast cancer. I'm a cancer survivor, so anything dealing with cancer, it touches me special. So, yeah, October is a very warm month for me.
How about Southern Lab then? Southern Lab, where they wore all pink uniforms last week when they played Avoyelles. So what a moment for that program representing all those around the world.
I didn't know that, and that makes me, feel really, really proud of the, the coaching staff to do that, and especially in a big game because that was a real big game for them, and to bring that attention to that's awesome. Oh, that is beautiful, man. That is awesome.
Wow.
When you
They did that really well. That's
they did that
very good. Uniform look.
really good.
So hats off to Southern Lab, all pink uniforms representing this month to the fullest.
Right.
You see it everywhere we go.
Right. Well, you see, I've seen a lot of people with the pink socks or the pink tape. They actually have pink sports tape that they've been wearing.
Yep.
And, let me tell you something. Cancer does not discriminate. Cancer will go after anybody of all, races and all walks of life, whether you got money, whether you're poor. It doesn't matter. It doesn't discriminate. So when you see all of this, it makes you feel good.
Absolutely. Totally agree. My dad had lung cancer about 10 years ago and whatnot, and it was luckily enough they were able to catch it early. And through these last 10 years, the cancer cells have stayed dormant. There has been no traces of the cancer coming back. So we're thankful for that. We're especially thankful for that.
Oh yeah, it's congratulations to that. I tell everybody, I said I go to my doctor's appointments regularly just to make sure it stays away.
Oh yeah,
That's what we
absolutely.
gotta do.
My dad does too.
Right here in front of us, Iowa, their tailback named Ronald Young. Big night the other night, 36 carries, 261 on the ground, and a big-time 17-16 win over Lake Charles College Prep, setting up a winner-take-all on Thursday night. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Mr. Ronald Young in person Thursday night.
That's going to be awesome. That's going to really be an exciting ball game.
Definitely will be keeping my eye on that game as well.
How about Westminster of Lafayette, Gary? Today was their last practice as a unit. And you know they've only been together for 2 years now for football.
Correct.
And they have some seniors on that football team. So tomorrow night, they will have their senior night and graduate their first ever senior class in high school football.
That is awesome.
So
Wow.
today at practice, last practice for the seniors. Seniors chose players to carry them off the field and carry their gear. So congratulations.
Right. That's
A
exciting.
huge moment
Oh,
in
yeah.
those kids' life.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Who has the most interceptions so far this season? I saw something on Twitter. Somebody had that title of the most interceptions this year. And I think Go Preps covers all of the stats throughout the state. So that would be
Right,
the best place to find the stat leaders in the state of Louisiana. Next news, it just broke earlier today, Gary. Jennings head football coach Rusty Phelps, after a close to 30 years coaching the Bulldogs, is choosing to retire at the end of the season. Congratulations on an outstanding career, and we wish you nothing but beautiful time off and luck in the future, right, Gary?
Well, most definitely. When you devote your life to football and to all of this, I mean, we've gone through a lot of coaches that we've seen, over the years. I mean, I won't lie to you. I mean, our in our situation, Donnie Perron was one of our coaches that was there forever. I mean, his first year at Port Air was my freshman year, and he was so solid. And Rusty, he's doing the same thing. There's nothing but love from this program, and nothing but love from the sport of football for you. And you're doing it the right way, man.
And they will always remember that state title run from
Most
a few
definitely.
years back.
Most definitely.
Watching that team go through the playoffs was something special to see. They were knocking off giants left and right.
Right.
They
and
fell in the state title game, but they will always remember that playoff run.
You're right. I mean, sometimes your best memories are not a championship. It's a run to the game. But I mean, I can remember, a lot of teams getting there and falling short. But I mean, that's the best that they've done in years. So I think it's awesome.
I say if you win 4 playoff games or so in order to make it to the Superdome for a state championship game, I mean, you've earned it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's a special team, whether you win the state title or not. That's a special team no matter the circumstance. To win 4 games to get there is absolutely impressive.
The way they did it,
Yeah.
they were winning games by 1 point, like 2 or 3 weeks in a row.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
It was
A
unbelievable.
lot of tight football on that run. I remember that.
So Rusty Phelps, enjoy retirement. You'll have memories to last a lifetime.
Right. And I'm sure he's going to be coming back and visiting sometimes.
Manny High School sitting here on the table tonight. Big district game tomorrow night against Red River. Manny has now won 49 straight district championship games. They're going for number 50 tomorrow night. What a huge accomplishment there for that program.
tell you something, Jordy. Watching them play is
That's
exciting.
insane.
That it's
decade.
exciting, you know.
The decade of perfect district.
No, they're awesome. I mean, they just have what it takes, and they just keep on reloading.
The last time that they lost a district game, Jordan and I were both juniors in high school, which is,
Wow.
I mean, to think 10 years has gone by like that, and they haven't lost in district at any point. That's, I mean, that takes a remarkable amount of consistency.
Right.
So, I don't care how weak or strong that district is. It still takes a lot of consistency to win it 10 years in a row and be undefeated 10 years in a row.
Correct.
Correct.
Final headline of the week, ladies and gentlemen. And if we missed any, put them in the chat. Mr. Wayne Smith says Xander Smith
That's
has the
11.
most interceptions in the state of Louisiana right now with 11. 11 interceptions in a season.
Ball
You're
hawk.
doing something special in
Yeah.
that secondary.
Oh, you're right.
Congratulations.
Go get it. That is a very, very good thing to hear, and congratulations to that young man.
He still got 2 weeks to add on.
Yeah,
Plus,
most definitely.
however
He can get-
far they go in the
You
playoffs.
can get 3 or 4 more.
Yep.
Correct.
All right, last headline of the week, and it just broke on the way to the studio.
Ooh.
And I'm not sure you heard about this, Gary, because you was in class.
Yeah, I was kicking and punching
heard
in there.
about
If you
this.
missed
I
it.
did hear about it. I don't know what the full situation as to what exactly happened the night of.
Okay.
But I did see the tweet. I did see the post about it about an hour before I headed up here. So I almost tagged you in it, but I kind of figured it was going to come across your way. You probably already saw it by the time I
Right.
saw it anyway. So
Carroll High School coming into week 9 undefeated with an 8-0 record. News just broke earlier today. LHSA has suspended the head football coach and 8 other coaches on that Carroll staff for the remainder of the season
Oh, wow.
and the postseason. Suspended from an altercation at last week's game at Franklin Parish.
Really?
I
Oh
thought it was
my
just a regular
God.
season. I didn't see the postseason thing. Wow.
That is, oh man.
9 coaches done for the season, and this team has an 8-0 record. Probably going to get a first-round bye in the playoffs.
But man, so you have 8, the head coach and 8 coaches.
That's
Yes,
9
sir.
altogether.
That's got to be the staff.
We don't
Isn't
e-
it?
we don't even have 9 coaches on our Alta Mater's team.
Oh, right. That's what I'm saying.
think we have-
I don't know how many y'all got.
It's pretty close to 8 or 9. It's
So that basically
8, 9,
sounds like the
something around
whole
there.
staff is gone.
Yeah, like Chris just said it. They also put in the details they can't even be at
practice. Yeah.
wow.
Man, that's crazy to me, you know. So what, you know, and I don't know what happened. We don't know the details. We don't want to speculate. But
Right.
come on, man, that's crazy.
Staff has 15 coaches, so they're gonna.
Half of them are gone.
Yeah.
They got 6 coaches to take a. They got 6 coaches to take an undefeated Carroll team.
To the
rest of the way.
Oh my God, man!
And you think about this
And it-
also.
You know,
This comes in the waking weeks of a Richwood team that comes in. That's pretty damn good.
right. And according to this, it says they can't even be at practice, so they're basically done. Oh my God!
You have a chance to make history. You have a chance to possibly go
Right.
14-0, because if they were to win the last 2 games, they would get the first round bye. So I would guess they'd play 4 games to get to win state. To go 14-0 and
15-0.
Yeah.
well, if they
15-0.
would, yeah, 14 or 15-0. I mean, because they would, if they get the bye, I would assume they play 4 games instead of 5 in the playoffs. But yeah, you have that opportunity, and then like I said, I don't know all the details, but just over some
Yeah.
crazy situation that has happened, and it.
That's
mean-
got to be a big hit for
Wow.
those guys and those seniors losing their coaches like that and halfway through their season. That's got to be a big hit for that program. You got to think to yourself, Friday night or Thursday night when they play that game against Richwood, we're going to see where they're at.
Yeah, where
I
they're
think
at
mentally.
emotionally, where they're at emotionally, man. Golly, that's a big hit, especially for high school students. I mean, they have a lot of coaches are father figures.
Yep.
You know, and you're gonna have stuff like that that's going. Oh my God.
Yeah, and then also you look at that, and to lose 9 coaches out of 15, it'll put a lot of pressure on them, and you do wonder if Carroll will just be able to keep the ball rolling or whatnot, or if the wheels fall off. I mean, it could honestly go either way.
Right.
It could honestly go either way.
Right. And, best of luck. I don't know what's going on and everything like that, but it's these kids. You don't want to see that for these kids. Best of luck to everybody. I hope the kids can overcome this and play to their potential.
They got Richwood this week and Union Parish next week. That's not.
Oh, my
not
God.
That's a tough slate. That's a tough 2-game slate. I also wonder this. I wonder if the coaches could appeal that.
They have appealed up north, so
I guess we'll find out if it ends up
yeah,
going through or not, if they uphold it or not.
Yeah.
we'll move forward with it. We'll keep you up with details in the next show for sure.
Yeah, most definitely.
Heading to the rankings for this week, ladies and gentlemen. Let's check out who's number 1 headed into week 9. Got some new faces on top of the food chain this week. Got some familiar faces still sitting there.
Yeah, let's look at that.
Public side, we start out. Who's number 1 in the public side? They call it non-select. I'm going to call it public. Number 1 ranked team heading into week 9. We start with Division 1. Yes. And it's been a little flip-flop these last few weeks between Ruston and Zachary. This week, ladies and gentlemen, your number 1 ranked team in the state of Louisiana is the Zachary Broncos, coming in with a 6-1 record.
Defending state champs, looking like they picked up right where they left off.
Oh, they're definitely a powerhouse ball club.
Division 2, your number 1 ranked team. All they did was take 1 week off from the top dog of the list, and they right back on top after the district championship game.
And we were there.
Over Cecilia. OHS is ranked number 1 once again with a 7-1 record.
Yeah.
On Division 2.
It's honestly amazing, and I mean, I went to an alma mater that's a bitter rival of OHS's, but I can respect how fast the coaching staff at OHS has turned things around, and how they were able to build their program to where they wanted to be that quickly. Seeing that, you're like, it's really an amazing accomplishment, especially that OHS has struggled usually for a lot of their program history, but in order to build it up to where they have it now and then maybe make a run at state in just a few years after rebuilding it it's probably everything that you could expect from them and more.
Right.
So, holding people accountable. I've watched. We were there when we watched him on the sideline. He holds these kids accountable for their actions.
Absolutely does.
And I'm so proud of that, because that's what OHS needed. They needed somebody to hold these kids accountable and not be afraid to discipline when they needed to be disciplined.
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna tell you, that's what I see in this coach, and he's doing a great job.
Yep.
Division 3, ladies and gentlemen, your number 1 ranked team. It seems like the entire season they are not leaving that top spot. Manny Tigers come in 7-0. Manny.
They're the only team in that division that's undefeated right now as far as non-select goes.
They're trying to get back to the title game. And this playoff system this year, it won't be easy. But as of week 9, they are on top.
Possible matchups between the Voiles or Bogalusa, because them and the Voiles had a hell of a game last year in the playoffs. It was they had 2 really good games. I think Manny won by 4 the first game, and then in the semis, Manny ended up winning that game by 2. So I would like to see that matchup either possibly in the semis or in the state title game. I think that would steal the show. That could
in the rankings.
Right, exactly. If it matches up, that could steal the show come championship weekend, those 2 teams.
Division 4, no stranger here, the Roos, Gary's favorite team.
Oh, yeah. Nothing like watching the Roos, especially at home underneath the water tower. It's awesome.
Yes, indeed. Kentwood, 7-1 in the Division 4 rankings, ranked number 1. Private school, who's ranked number 1, Division 1, Division 2, and Division 4 has got new faces at the top. Division 3, same old face. We start out with Division 1. 7-1 ranked. Number 1, Warren Easton on
Wow.
top this week.
They sure had to earn it last week in
Yeah.
order to get that number 1 spot. That game against Madison Prep, that definitely tested them.
Oh, most definitely.
So them being number 1, definitely well earned.
Yes, indeed. Division 2, De La Salle. New top dogs
Wow.
this week
Wow.
as Turlings falls to St. Thomas More. De La Salle slides up with an undefeated 8-0 record. Not many people talking about De La Salle sitting there
Yeah.
8-0. 8-0, but they're ranked number 1 heading into week 9. Division 3, Newman Greenies still riding the number 1 ranked spot with a 6-1 record. I don't know if that's right. I don't think they missed that many games this year, huh?
That we have to look at that.
What, them being 6-1?
Yeah.
Yeah, they it has it on
So
there. It says it has them at 6-1.
So they had a bye somewhere through.
Yeah, might have been early in the season, if I'm not mistaken.
Division 4, new ranked team at the top. Your number 1 ranked team in Division 4 this week. Big blowout win last week over Hanson Memorial. They leapfrog Vermilion Catholic, and they are ranked number 1. It is Central Catholic.
Boy, that's going to be fun to watch.
It's going to be fun.
No kidding. Also, a team this week, like I said, with Warren Easton last, that's a team that's, if they want to hang on to that number 1 ranking, they are definitely going to have to earn it.
Oh, yeah.
When they play
most
VC.
definitely.
Winner of this game Friday night
Right.
will be the number 1 ranked team going into week 10.
And
Oh,
they'll probably
most
hang
definitely.
on to it for week 10 as well.
I don't
Probably.
See, yeah, those 2 teams are the best in the district as well as the best around.
I mean,
So look out.
I do believe that it was Central Catholic that played Hanson last week, correct?
Yeah.
So VC would still have to play Hanson, and I mean,
BC has to play
Play
Hanson.
Hanson
who knows
next
what
week.
happens? You know,
A lot. You can't call this a district title game because they still have to play week 10.
Right.
it could end up being a 3-way tie.
Yep.
It's easily can.
All right. So there is your number 1 ranked teams in the state for public and private through Division 1 and Division 4.
Wow. That's
Let's
awesome.
let's take a look at our locals. Where did our locals fall in the rankings this week? We start out with Division 1 non-select. Zachary, number 1 ranked team in the state. Southside, big win over Acadiana last week. They're ranked number 4 this week.
Called it.
And Westgate sits at number 9 after back-to-back losses. Scary.
Right. That's
They're not
amazing.
losing to any slouches though,
They're not.
No.
and they got another tough test against. I believe they're playing STM this week. I might be. Hold on. I might be wrong.
Yep.
I know they got another tough test though.
It would be on the second page.
Second page. Yeah, they got STM. I was
So
right.
3 in a row for the
Wow.
Tigers. Yep. Division 2. Here's where our locals sit. OHS ranked 1. Iowa ranks 5. Church Point 6. St. Martinville 11. Cecilia 12. Erad 14. Iota 15. Abbeville 16. North Vermilion 20. Kaplan 24. Brobridge 25, Eunice 26, and Northwest hanging on by a thread at 28. A lot of locals representing in that Division 2 bracket.
And
Right.
Division 2 is also very top heavy as well.
Right.
Look at a lot of those teams. They're either undefeated, 1 loss, it's just it's honestly amazing. That I think that could be the most competitive out of all of the potential playoff brackets this postseason. I think it could be Division 2 non-select. That might be the best bracket all the way through.
Good possibility.
Division 3, number 6 ranked Avoyles. Number 19, Patterson. Number 20, Lowerville. Number 22, Westlake. Number 24, Port Allen. Kinder, big win last week, puts them back into that mix. They're at
Nice.
26.
Right.
And Mamu hanging on at 27.
ahead.
There you go.
Division 4, Basile comes in ranked 7.
Good on
Welsh
them.
comes in at 8. Oakdale comes in at 11. Grand Lake at 12. Oberlin 14. East Beauregard 16. Jeanerette 17. Franklin 18. Gato 19. Lake Arthur 21. Delcom 22. Elton 26. Another big bracket with our locals
Yeah,
represented.
got a lot
Yep.
of locals in those. That's some good ones.
I'll say this. I've always kind of kept an eye a little bit further south as far as some of the schools. Like my dad was an alma mater of Laurelville, so I always tried to keep tabs on their district rivals or their rivalry games or whatnot. And it always seemed like Jeanerette would always struggle. And it felt like it would be a challenge for them to get 2 wins in a season. But the fact that they're doing a lot better this year, I'm actually I'm very impressed. And you know what? I think they deserve a little bit of credit for. I believe they're 4-4 in a year,
Yep,
and the
yep.
fact that they've struggled for so long and it's finally starting to go their way. I mean, it's just persistence with that coaching staff, and I believe they deserve a lot of credit. I just felt that should be mentioned for them.
Yeah, they
Right.
made the
Most
jump.
definitely.
They made the jump back down in division. If the system was still in order, they would be 1A right now, which not many people are familiar with Jeanerette playing 1A football.
Right.
Right.
For as long as I can remember, they've always been 2A.
All right, private school division 1. Here's our locals. Catholic of BR comes in at 2. Karen Crow comes in at 5. And Acadiana comes in at 14.
That's not normal.
Not normal.
Not,
no.
we're not
No.
used to Acadiana
Yeah, being
being
that
that low in the rankings, but I mean, it's not like they've lost against teams that aren't very good. I mean, first week of the season they fell to LCA.
And they play each other Friday night.
Thursday night.
Or Thursday night.
Tomorrow
I'm
night,
sorry,
I'm
tomorrow
going to
night.
that game.
They play each other, so that might change.
It could.
Can't never tell.
Because, I mean, you look at the 3 teams Acadiana lost to. LCA, one of the best teams in the state. Then you also have John Curtis doing their thing in the New Orleans Catholic League, plus Edna Carr, in that Catholic League district, as I like to call it. And then you also have Southside got their biggest win in program history with a monster defense that's just they just swarm their opponents. 34 points allowed in the last 5 games.
Yeah, they're playing well.
Sharks.
They're playing well. Coach Fontenot over there is doing really good. I'm
yeah.
impressed with.
They smell blood in the water, and when that defense smells blood in the water, they attack, and they are relentless on defense.
Division 2, locals. Turlings comes in at 2, only falling 1 spot. STM sits at 3. LCA sits at 5. Madison Prep at 7. St. Louis at 10. And Northside hanging on at 24. Division 3, Notre Dame at 4. Episcopal at 6. ULAB at 11. Catholic New Iberia at 13. Lake Charles College Prep 17, and Ascension Episcopal comes in at 19. And your final rankings goes to Division 4 private. Central Catholic, number 1 ranked team. Vermilion Catholic, number 2 ranked team. Southern Lab at 9. Catholic of Ponkapee at 11. Hanson Memorial at 12. Sacred Heart at 13. Opelousas Catholic at 17. And St. Ed's comes in at 18. So we well
Wow.
represented.
Absolutely.
Right, man. I tell you what, that's going to be interesting because I wouldn't want to play Opelousas Catholic right now.
Nope.
They are playing very good ball.
I got to see a little bit of them whenever Beauchamp played Opelousas Catholic in a scrimmage. They're well coached. They have some athletic guys. They know where they need to be on the field as far as plays go at any given time. They're a very well coached outfit, and I think that is going to do wonders for them when they play some of the big boys in that bracket come playoff time.
Most
They are
definitely.
definitely battle tested the way they schedule.
Absolutely.
most
They don't schedule teams usually that they feel like they can beat easily. They usually go with teams that are right in their level, and they like a challenge.
Yes.
So I respect that.
The key is to stay healthy throughout that.
Absolutely.
Teams that are on the bubbles this week. Division 1, Central of Baton Rouge and Live Oak represent our locals that are on the bubble. Got some work to do here in the last 2 weeks.
Pulling for Live Oak.
Division 2, Jennings and Rain are not in the playoffs as we speak. Can Jennings get into those playoffs and send coach out the right way?
That would be amazing for them to do that, and they need to work
Yes.
towards it. They got 2 weeks to get it right.
Division 3, Ville Platte trying to claw their way in. They got a shot, but it ain't going to be easy. They got to get some wins.
Hmm.
Division 4, Maryville hanging around.
Right.
Division 1 Private, Lafayette High and Como still got a shot to crack that top 24 in week 9.
Oh yeah, Lafayette's really close. I haven't seen their full schedule yet. I think one more win could probably get them in there.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
solidify a spot.
Yep.
Division 2, Bolton, our friends over there at Bolton, they got a chance to get in.
Got to win.
Yep, got to
Yep.
have a big win these next 2 weeks.
I'm glad that they're doing pretty well this year because we played them week 1 last year, and we got Beauchamp's biggest comeback win in program history against them.
Coach Dortez is actually a Opelousas native.
Oh, okay. I
Right.
didn't know that. I didn't know he was up there.
He
But,
still lives in Opelousas.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we were down, I think, 38-16.
Remember that?
8 minutes, 33 seconds left in the third. We scored 29 unanswered, and then hold them at the 11-yard line with a sack at the very end of the game to get the win. It's probably the craziest game that I've ever seen live as far as Beauchamp goes. It's definitely the craziest game that I've ever seen. The Grant one's up there too with the overtime.
We talked about that game when we went through the stadium tour.
Right, we sure
With
did.
Bolton, for sure, and Beauchamp. Beauchamp talked about it. Bolton talked about it. So
Right.
that was a big game
Yeah.
last year.
Oh yeah,
Bunkie, Division 3, trying to get in. Buddy of mine coaches at Bunkie. I'm rooting for y'all to crack that playoffs. In Division 4, Westminster has a shot to get in. They gotta have a big win this week.
Right, and they gotta put it together, and they can do it.
They can do it.
it should be a really good game.
St. Ed's
This is
comes
going-
into town, so it's
Should be a good game.
two good friends of ours, Gary,
Right.
on the coaching staff. Wish both teams best of luck. Playoff seedings.
Right. This is going to determine that.
Yep.
you know.
So that is a look at bubbles for our locals from around the state.
Correct.
All right. Last week or this week, Gary, when did I call you and say state championship games have been announced?
I don't remember.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, they have come out, and we are excited because you know these next few weeks are going to be some great football. But when we get to the Dome, it's on.
Oh, it's going to be exciting. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday? Yes, sir, E-Bob.
All 8 state championship games will be played inside the Superdome this year. They will be
It's not moving yet. Sorry about that, guys.
All right, welcome back to the chat. Let's restart that state championship talk.
Yep.
Sometimes when you're running things by yourself, behind the scenes, you forget to plug in the laptop.
Well, we got it right. It's all good.
It's a good thing the live stream doesn't end because that would have been something.
You're right.
All right, let's talk state championship football. State championship games have been announced. Thursday, December 8th, Friday, December 9th, Saturday, December 10th. All 8 state championship games will be broadcasted live from the Superdome in New Orleans. We can't wait to get to New Orleans. But before we get to New Orleans, we got 6 more weeks of high school football in store for us.
Right. It's going to be amazing. That's going to be the highlight of the season. But, boy, man, there's going to be a lot of excitement coming up to that. Oh, and I can't wait.
First game of the state championship weekend has been announced. A 3:30 kickoff in the Division IV public bracket. That's non-select. So keep an eye out on those teams. They will be the opening game of the weekend.
That's going to be exciting.
Yep.
It really is.
And then your nightcap, ladies and gentlemen. Only 2 games for that Thursday night. And we're going to be there. 7 o'clock kickoff in the Division IV select private side of the bracket. So Division IV public, Division IV private. We'll battle it out Thursday, December 8th, 3:30 and 7.
Man, that's going to be exciting. Man, I can't wait to see that. But then I think, I hate to say that, I can't wait to see all of them because they're all going to be good.
Oh, yeah.
Then we go to bed that night. We wake up. We head back to the Superdome for Friday action. And we're going to kick off a 3-game event at noon. So your 12 o'clock game will be Division II Select. So that might be your St. Thomas Moores, your LCAs, your Turlings, if any one of those gets there from our local side.
Right.
And then you got the 3:30 slot. Your second game of the day on Friday goes to your Division III Select side. So Division III Private is your 3:30 game on Friday. And then your nightcap on Friday night. 7 p.m. kickoff, Division I non-select public bracket. We said that Ruston had a shot to get there, and we said Zachary has a shot to repeat, so keep an eye out on that Friday night recap.
Who knows? Maybe a team from our area, Southside, might make that run.
That would be nice.
And you never know, with Southside Sharks playing the way they are, if we might be getting to see them live.
Yeah, you're right.
We go home and get ready to do it all over again.
Saturday.
That's 5 games in, and we have 3 more on Saturday. Your first game on Saturday to kick off the final day goes to Division II non-select. So if our OHS Tigers gets to the big dance, that's when they will play, Gary.
I'm hoping that we'll have the Tigers in the dome. That's it.
That would be something.
Noon on Saturday, Division II non-select. Your second game, 3:30, kickoff, Division III non-select public bracket. And your final game of the nightcap, 7 o'clock, Division I select, Edna Core versus somebody. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, probably. Neo, that's going to probably be tomorrow.
That's smart money.
Yeah, the University of Edna Core.
Might as well be.
So 8 great state championships, all inside of the Superdome, 3-day event. And your earliest game will be noon. Your latest game will be 7. Get ready, folks.
Yeah, man,
football in the dome is soon.
Nothing like it. Nothing like it. I mean, last year we had a great time at the Dome, but when you had it to where you had games at different venues.
We actually went to the ones
Yeah.
at Tulane.
Yeah, we went to the ones at Tulane. We didn't go to the ones at Cajun Dome, but we went to the ones at Tulane, and then we went to the ones in the Dome.
Because how can you be fair to
Oh man,
the fans out there that just like to go watch the games whenever you're putting them at the same time in different cities?
you're right.
Different parts of the
How
city,
can,
yeah.
how can you do that? I mean, it just blows my mind.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, it is time to shift gears as we head into Week 9 game picks. If you would like to follow along with the panel here tonight, you have that opportunity. Just leave your game picks in the chat. Please don't take offense if we don't pick your school. This is just who we think is going to win that week from our perspectives, right, Gary?
Right.
Correct.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, there's some hard picks on these pages. He picks out some games that we got, but they got
yeah.
some hard picks on this page, on these pages.
Yes, indeed. We go into Week 9, and I got 19 games here on Thursday night, Gary, that has been moved or originally scheduled.
Right. It's crazy. It's crazy what we do.
All right, you ready?
Let's do it.
Let's get it, man.
Mr. Brogy, Mr. Swallow. Week 9 is here. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in with us and being a great crowd tonight.
Oh yeah. Like I said, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm glad you guys had me.
Y'all calm that noise down, Troy. I got a special treat for you. Got a special treat for you about halfway down the line here. You're not gonna want to miss it.
Yeah, man. Stay tuned.
Starting off our picks, 6-2 Iota at winless Port Barry. Iota, all they have to do this week, Gary, is win, and they set up a winner-take-all district championship game with Church Point Week 10 live from Bulldog Stadium. So they can't overlook the Red Devils this week and get caught looking ahead. So Bulldogs, Red Devils, who wins this game?
As much as I hate to say it, but it's got to be the Bulldogs. I think they're gonna just be too strong. Our Red Devils are struggling this year. They're rebuilding, and they're young. So I mean, I can't. As much as I want to pick Port Barry, I can't. It's got to be Iota.
And if nobody knows, me and Gary graduated from Port Barry. That's why that one hurts.
It does.
Where's Holden Lee? Holden Lee chose softball over under the lights.
We're gonna remember that.
All right. I think Iota. I'll say this. I remember when Iota was struggling a little less than a decade ago as a program, and they're kind of like Opelousas in a way that they were able to get the right personnel in there, and then they were able to coach these kids from. I remember. I think they had 2 winless seasons at one point, and to get to this point where they're consistently competing for district titles and trying to make runs into the state playoffs, it's a good thing to see. I'm glad that Iota's doing it. I don't have anything against them or whatnot. I hope for them to have continued success, and I'll be picking them in this game as well. Nothing against Port Barry, of course, but
If we were back in 2002,
Oh, it would be
different
on.
story.
It would be on.
and if it was back in 99, then it would be the Bulldogs.
That's right.
But in 2022, it's going to be the Bulldogs. And this one, Bulldogs roll big.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Next up, West St. Mary heads down to Franklin and takes on, I think this is a rivalry here. I think this is a rivalry. Both teams very familiar with each other. West St. Mary looking for their first win of the season. Franklin trying to stay in that playoff mix. Who gets this win?
I'm going to go with Franklin. I think the home
Got to
field.
go with Franklin
Yeah, I gotta
after
go with
their
Franklin.
win last week.
Yes, I'm going with Franklin. Home field plus, and West St. Mary is struggling this year.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree with that. Franklin's a pretty good team. They made a decent run into the playoffs last year. I know they're kind of struggling a little bit.
They upset your alma mater last year in the playoffs.
My dad's alma mater.
Okay,
My dad's alma mater. I went to Beauchene. My dad is a Laurelville alum from the class of '76. So, but as far as like my parents' alum, I definitely cheer for my dad's a lot more than my mom. So,
Yep. So Franklin across the board.
Franklin across the board, correct.
ERAV starting to go on a roll. They knocked off Abbeville last week. That sent shockwaves around the state of Louisiana. ERAV got a road contest this week against Crawley. I like the Bobcats in this one.
I think ERAD's going to go. I think they're going to win.
I think
Too much.
URF is gonna. They're riding a high, and they're gonna carry that into the next game as well. But they still have to show up and beat Crowley. With URF winning that game against Abbeville, it really, honestly, going in probably should have been
Kaplan the week before.
right. And
And I picked Crawley to beat Livonia last week, and we all know how that one turned out.
I picked Livonia in the chat. I remember that. I kind of figured Livonia was gonna have a little bit of an edge on that one. Seeing them play live, I kind of had a good feel for them. But back to Erath, them beating Abbeville, not to me at least, isn't that surprising because Abbeville, Erath, Kaplan, now St. Martinville, they're going to be playing each other from years to come. It looks like I don't think they're going to have that big of a dip or surge in enrollment in the foreseeable future. And with Erath, Kaplan, and Abbeville, they've been playing each other in the same district for years upon years upon years. A lot of familiarity, a lot of bitterness. And the records really doesn't matter as much when they play because they'll whenever any combination of those three teams meet up, it's on.
They get
Yeah,
up
you're
for them
right.
games.
It's on from the first snap all the way to the very end.
So ERAF across the board.
Correct.
The next football game here, 4-4 St. Ed's going down to Westminster 2-6. Westminster gets a win, they're in.
Right.
St. Ed's gets a win, they better their playoff seedings.
Right.
Yep.
This is going to be, I'm going to tell you, this is my heart. I'd love to see Westminster get a chance to get in the playoffs. I'd love to see them win. But can they control and shut down this young man at St. Ed's?
Two young men.
The two young men, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to be a little bit harder than you think. I'm going to give the edge to St. Ed's.
I do think that Westminster is aware of where they are in the playoff rankings, or to get into the playoffs at least. I do believe that they're going to go for broke in this game. I believe they're going to throw everything that they have at St. Ed's. They're going to empty the gas tanks towards the end to see if they can put off the upset. The only thing is, I am a little concerned on if it actually ends up working or not. But I do think that Westminster will keep it competitive. They may even get the lead at the half. But I do think in the second half, St. Ed's will take a deep breath, play the game their way, and they will eventually come out with the victory.
There you go. St. Ed's gets it done on the road, but it won't be easy.
No, I think this is going to be a dogfight. I honestly do. And I'm hoping that, I'll take this loss. I'd love to see Westminster get in there. But I just honestly think that St. Ed's is going to be a little too strong.
2-6 Kinder going on the road to take on 4-4 Westlake. We talked about Kinder last week. They were in must-win territory. Now they sit at 26 in the rankings. Now, do you think to yourself, if they win this one, they solidify their spot in the playoffs? If they lose this one, it sets up a Week 10 matchup where they're playing for their lives.
Right.
So what is your thoughts right now with Kinder and Westlake, Gary? Is Kinder in must-win territory here?
Kinder is definitely in must-win territory right now. They need to, honestly, I think they need to win out to make the playoffs.
I think they're in if they win this one.
If they win this one, yeah, that's going to be a feather in their cap. But it depends on how they lose, if ever they lose one. But, this is definitely a must-win for Kinder. And I love Kinder. I mean, they've been treating us so good.
Both teams are
But,
out of the
you know,
district race, so this is
yeah,
seeding
yeah.
that's playing in week 9.
Yep.
You got Westlake that's just trying to get there, and I think Westlake's, no matter what, I think Westlake's going to probably be in. But I think even though Kinder's going to be throwing everything at them, I think Westlake's going to be a little bit too strong at home. So I don't want to pick this, but I got to pick Westlake.
All right. I remember hearing an old saying from the NFL, Bill Parcells. He says that you are your record. And I think in most cases that's true, but I don't think that's the case with Kinder. Look at the teams that they lost to. Welsh. They didn't end up playing that game. That's right. Church Point, Rose Pine.
Rose Pine.
They did beat Rose Pine. Let me see
Yeah.
that. Oh, that's right, they did. It was because they lost to Church Point, St. Louis Catholic, Iowa, and then they also lost to Breaux Bridge. Those are all pretty good teams. They're not losing, like I said, they're not losing the teams that are below their level. And they're usually playing pretty darn well against teams that are maybe a little bit ahead of them or right there by them. I think this is a team that is better than what their record says. And I do think in another case, like with Westminster, that they're gonna throw everything at Westlake, but I think in this case it will be enough. I got Kinder with the upset.
Kinder on the road
Wow.
from Mr. Brogy. It's going to come down to turnovers, like always, Gary. If Kinder can stay free in the turnover game, they got a shot to go on the road and win this football game. Fighting for your lives, backs against the wall. Yellow Jackets still won on the road. Close win.
So you going Yellow Jackets?
There we go.
Well, hey, I hope they do. I'll be honest with you. Kinder's been so good to us. I hope they can pull it out. I think it's going to be the other way.
5-3 Delcom headed down to 3-5 Ascension Episcopal. Delcom big win last week. Ascension Episcopal
Big win.
big win.
Yeah.
Now we do the math here. Ascension Episcopal, we picked them 3 times. They burn us 3 times.
Mhm.
We picked Delcom quite a few times this year. Only burn us once. How do we feel in this one? Who's going to win this football game? Ascension Episcopal, Delcom meet on Thursday night.
That's going to be an interesting ball game. Ascension Episcopal, played very well in their victory last week. They surprised me.
They pitched a shutout, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
At Lowerville.
At Lowerville, yep.
Lowerville,
Not
that's
an
what I'm
easy
saying.
place to play either.
I think this.
Anybody can throw a
Yeah.
wrench, it's Delcom.
Yeah, Delcom can throw a monkey wrench in there, but I think I'm gonna have to go with Ascension Episcopal. I'm gonna go ride it again, and I'm gonna see. Hopefully, they can not disappoint me, because they're playing at home and they're playing for their playoffs. They need to get some wins to get the seeding right. So I'm gonna go with Ascension Episcopal.
If that Ascension Episcopal team that showed up at Lowerville shows up Thursday
Right.
night, I think they win also.
Right.
But that's going to be the key. Which team shows up?
I'm looking at this district. It is insane. There's a lot of ways that this could end up being. I don't think there's going to be one team that's going to come out of it as district champs. I think it'll be a share of 2 or possibly 3 teams in this district. But I think, as Gary said, what y'all said, y'all picked up Ascension Episcopal a few times and they burned y'all each time. Well, I'm hoping that me picking them as well isn't going to burn y'all again. I'm going to pick AE to win this one. I'm picking this one basically because I think the home field advantage will get them the victory there.
Next up, 6-2 Oberlin at 5-2 Gaydon. This is a seeding matchup because both teams should be out of the race, if I'm not mistaken. Nope. Oberlin still has a shot week 10, depending on what East Bow does. So big implications here. If Gaydon knocks out Oberlin, they're out of the race.
Right. That one I got to think on.
I'm going to go with Oberlin on the road.
Yeah, this one to me, I think it's kind of a toss-up. I think I'll agree with you on this one, Jordy. I'll take I'll take Oberlin with the win here.
Gator's been playing
They play.
playing really well this season, Gary.
I know, but I just whenever I looked at this one, I just thought of Oberlin, so I think I'm going to go with them too.
4-4 St. Martinville at 5-3 Abbeville. We thought this would be the district title game coming into the season. It's not. Abbeville had that loss to ERAF last week, threw a big wrench into that problems.
Right.
St. Martinville coming in, and I'm not sure exactly where the district race is. He can pull it up there.
I got it right here. The district race as of right now, St. Martinville is 2-0 and in control of their own destiny.
Okay.
If they beat Abbeville this week, they have to play Crowley next. ERAF is
And
2-1.
it's over with then.
Yeah, then it's over with. If St. Martinville wins, district title is theirs in all likelihood. If Abbeville
And-
wins, it still gives them a
And
chance.
St. Martinville holds the head-to-head over ERAF.
Correct. They did beat ERAF
So-
earlier in the year. So with them being 2-0, if they beat Abbeville, the biggest test probably for them, at least as far as district goes. They beat it, they'll win the district. If not, Abbeville, ERAF, and St. Martinville could very well be a three-way tie for the
Very
district
well.
win.
So Abbeville, a lot to play for this week. They welcome in St. Martinville. And they got bad blood from last year's game. You know they wanted that one back again, and they get them from Wildcat Stadium. Can they rebound from last week's loss and get the troops ready to roll and knock off St. Martinville at home this week?
That's the $1 million question. We got which St. Martinville team will show up, but then again, after last week, which Abbeville team will show up? Will it be,
Correct.
the team that is clicking on all cylinders, or will it be, the team that lost to Gaydon?
Abbeville never lost.
Not to
Gaydon.
Gaydon. Who they played last
ERAF.
week?
ERAF.
I'm sorry, I'm thinking of different.
No, you're good about
But I'm gonna go with Abbeville because I got a little thing that they're gonna be, coming off of that loss. I think they're gonna just be going, at it. I think Coach Moore is gonna get them all fired up and worked up, and I think they're gonna that home field advantage and the crowd and everything is gonna be a little bit too much. So I think that's gonna give them the edge.
I'm going to have to go with St. Martinville on the road. They've played these last few weeks. They knocked off St. Charles on the road, and they knocked off some good teams along the way after a slow start. You want to be playing your best football here late in the season, and I think St. Martinville's figured it out. I think they go on the road and they win a dogfight.
Well, that's not a bad pick.
Not at all. Didn't they meet up in the playoffs? They were pretty deep in the playoffs when they met up last year, if I'm not mistaken. Or they didn't meet. It was
They had a chance to meet up, but Abbeville fell one round short of.
Oh,
meeting them.
that's right. That's right. I remember now. I thought for some reason they did meet up, but that's my mistake. But y'all mentioned it earlier. Looking into the season, this looked like a de facto district title game. It is for one team now instead of for both. But I think I do agree with you, Jordy. I think I'm going to take St. Martinville. They've been playing a lot better as the seasons went along. And I think they can keep the ball rolling in a hostile environment and take the district for themselves.
Pull this next district up.
All right, I got you.
Right now, OC owns a win over Catholic Appointed P.
Correct. They are number one in the district right now at 3-0.
Okay. And then Catholic Appointed P owns a win over Sacred Heart.
Correct. Sacred Heart is also 2-1.
So Sacred Heart needs a win over Opelousas Catholic tomorrow night
To force a three-way tie.
in order to force a three-way tie, because who they got week 10?
Week 10, Sacred Heart has North Central. Catholic Appointed P has Westminster week 10. And OC is going to have St. Ed's.
Okay. So you look at that and a potential three-way tie for the district title. If Sacred Heart bringing in their 6-2 record into Donald Gardner Stadium as they take in 4-3 Opelousas Catholic, Opelousas Catholic could be outright district champions
5-3, buddy.
if
Yep.
they win this week, right?
They're in St. Martinville's position. Yes, they'll win the title for themselves if they hang on to it.
I think they will win the title. This team is battle tested. This team plays what we talked about earlier. They play defense.
Most definitely. They play defense, and, they have played, some teams. The teams that they lost to are no slouches. They played the competition they needed to get battle tested before district.
Southern Lab,
Oh.
Oak Grove, Ascension Catholic. That's
Correct.
3 huge names there.
Right.
Yep.
So I'm giving OC the edge, and I think they're going to walk the rest of the year, and I think they're going to make a deep run in the playoffs.
I wouldn't be too surprised if OC if they beat Sacred Heart. I wouldn't be too surprised week 10 if they struggle a little bit with St. Ed's, but I do believe if they win this game, they'll win it out. They'll win the district. I'm going to pick Opelousas Catholic in this one, but I expect this game to be pretty darn close, and it probably should be close the entire way through.
And after last year, Sacred Heart had that season going, and no, not yet. Sacred Heart had that season going, and then OC came in and spoiled the party in that last
Yep.
week. And
I
won
remember that.
Won the district title. So Sacred
remember
Heart
that.
has that in the back of their heads, where that's gotta have been a year waiting for this game. So they're gonna get up for it.
Oh yeah, there's Sacred Heart's definitely going to be extra motivated for this. I agree with you on that. But like I said, I think this will be a game that's it could go either way. It's going to be. I think it'll be close all the way down to the wire. But like I said, I'm taking OC. I think OC gets done.
How about Dutchtown and Denham Springs? Both teams 5-2 in the year. Who gets this win?
I'm not too familiar with Dutchtown that much. Denham Springs, I've kind of heard a little bit about. Home field advantage. I'm gonna go with Denham Springs.
I agree.
I'll take Denham Springs as well. I know a little bit about Denham Springs. I know that they're pretty good. They have a pretty good offense. So I'm gonna take them. I'm with y'all on that.
One of the more physical games in the state of Louisiana this week.
There is one other thing I just saw too. The only thing is with Dutchtown against Live Oak, St. Amant, and Walker, they pitched 3 straight shutouts coming into this game.
No slouch there.
No slouch there. But I'm still gonna stick with my pick with Denham Springs. But
I think Denham Springs plays well at home.
yeah, their
They
offense
do.
versus Dutchtown's defense, that'll be the matchup throughout that game.
I agree. One of the more physical games in the state of Louisiana this week, as Rose Pine, with their 7-1 record, head down to a pissed off 5-3 Avoyles team. You don't just go do what Southern Lab did to Avoyles last week and don't think Avoyles is not going to come back stronger this week.
You're right, and that offense is, I'm sorry, that is a offense that, I'm sorry, it's hard to defend.
Absolutely.
Their 3 losses this year: Turlings, Southern Lab, and LCA.
LCA, yep. We got them 3 years ago.
Who did Rose Pine lose to?
Rose Pine fell
Lost to Kinder.
Yes, Kinder.
Kinder?
14-7.
Defensive showdown.
Yep.
I think Avoyles gets it back this week. I think this is a good old-fashioned shootout.
I'll agree with you. I think Avoyles is going to come back with a vengeance.
I had we got them at the Swamp 3 years ago, and Avoyles back then was a very young team, and I know some of the freshmen that played in the game, they're seniors now. Even back then, and we kept it close with them. This was a close game when we played Avoyles, and I knew that coach had just came in. I know that we kind of saw a little taste of what has been going on the last year, especially. Going for it on 4th down each time, going for 2-point conversions. Your kicker has the easiest job in the world if you play at Avoyles High. You just have to worry about kickoffs. And the way that they run their offense is nothing short of spectacular, in my opinion. The way that it's very well oiled. It's a lot of pulls on the offensive line, and they just do a tremendous job blocking. The way that they block is it's a sight to see, especially if you're a big boy, especially if you played on O-line or D-line. It's something to respect. And I think, Avoyelles is going to have a little bit extra energy after that loss. I think they're going to take care of Rose Pine, and I believe they'll take the district for themselves or maybe force a tie. I'm going to look at it right now. They could take the district for themselves with a win there because Avoyelles will have to play winless Pickering after this.
Okay.
If Rose
across the
Pine
board.
wins, then they still have to play Oakdale, and that could go either way as well.
That's a heck of a week 10 there.
That's, yeah, you're right.
Yep.
Mikey.
If they win, if Rose Pine is correct and they end up winning this, that and if Oakdale beats Holy Savior Menard, that could be a de facto district title game in a way as well, or a three-way tie if Oakdale wins.
Your next matchup, Parkway Airline. No shortage of offense in this one. Expect big points, expect big plays. When Parkway and Airline meet on Thursday night, 7-1 versus 5-3. Get us going, Gary.
I'm not too familiar with these two.
Offense.
All they got is a lot of offense from what I'm hearing, right? I'm going to go ahead and go with Parkway. I think they're going to keep it rolling.
Road dogs for Mr. Swallow.
That's right.
I'm looking at this district right now. This is a three-way race. Airline is 5-3. They lost all of their non-district games, but they lost to North DeSoto, Union Parish, and Northwood and Shreveport. But they are 5-0 in that district. Parkway is 4-1. Their only loss was to C.E. Beard. And then Benton is also 4-1 in that district. Their loss in that district was to Airline.
A district that just scores points.
District that scores a lot of points, and they score early, they score often. I think this game could go either way. I'm going to take Airline. Airline, I think, wins the district with this game. They have to play Southwood after this, and that should be an easy win for them, I think. So I think Airline at home is gonna take it to Parkway offensively, and they'll get the victory.
Yep. Expect maybe another 70s type of game.
Yeah.
Airline at home.
I think both teams will be a little disappointed if one of their teams didn't at least put up 50. So they put up 30 or 40 points. So when I was like, "What are y'all doing?"
Mhm.
Right.
This-
Expected a little bit more.
This next game might be for the district title also. 7-1 Kentwood Ruse takes on 5-3 Southern Lab. Good old 1A football here.
Mm.
Are you riding with Southern Lab after last week's big win over Avoyelles, Gary? Or do you like the Ruse? You're just a little too much on the road.
And I always did like, Kentwood. But they're playing in Baton Rouge. That's going to be a hard one. Who did Kentwood lose to?
Kenwood fell to Amite.
The Warriors, okay.
The Warriors of Amite.
And who did Southern Lab lose to?
Southern Lab fell to Madison Prep, and they lost to the Dunham. They lost to Madison Prep 27-8, and then lost 28-14 to Dunham.
I'm going to roll with Southern Lab at home.
Yeah, as much as it hurts me to do that, I think I'm going to go with them too.
I'm going Kittens as well. I think Southern Lab at home's a pretty safe bet. I know Kentwood's a really good team, but I think Southern Lab's going to be just a little too much.
If they would be playing under the water tower, I would go the other way.
Next up, Notre Dame Grand Lake. Pios playing good as of late. Grand Lake trying to stay in the district race with a big win at home on Thursday night. Give me the Pios on the road.
And this game, if Notre Dame beats Grand Lake, this will set up a de facto district title game against Welsh. Welsh is undefeated.
Can't wait for that Welsh.
Yeah,
Notre Dame
I think
game.
that's going to be the district championship right there.
Welsh and Notre Dame are both undefeated in the district. They're both 3-0. Grand Lake is 2-1. They already fell to Welsh, 43-7. But I think as far as this goes, I think the Pios are a little too strong as well.
Right.
I've learned over the years that if you're looking at a Notre Dame game, it's usually a pretty safe pick them to win. Usually, it's usually a fool's errand if you decide to pick against them. So I'm gonna go with Notre Dame here.
How about Amite versus Sterlington? This sounded good when you had the beginning of the season show.
You're right. It did.
Now you go into week 9, both teams not off to their 8-1, 9-0 starts, or 8-0, 7-1 starts like last year.
Right.
So now you look at Amite and Sterlington. Can the Warriors get it done on the road, or is it Sterlington at home in this one? A couple of state champions meeting on Thursday night.
Right. Man, that one's going to be hard.
I think Sterlington wins this game, and I think Sterlington might win this game big.
They're playing at home, so I think that's going to give them the edge. But, man, don't ever underestimate Amite.
Right. Amite this year I think jumped up to 3A because they're in that district with Bogalusa and Albany.
I'm going Sterlington.
I think Sterlington's the right move here as well. I know how good Amite is. I've always kept up with them, but Sterlington I think at home is probably the safe pick here. It's probably going to be a little too much for the Warriors to handle, but this is not a game that I would be totally surprised if Amite ended up winning.
Okay. St. Mary's Logansport. Saw St. Mary's play earlier this year. We saw Logansport play in the state title game. So we're familiar with both teams, and of course both teams would be off to this great start. 7-1 St. Mary's, 6-2 Logansport. Big game at Tiger Stadium on Thursday night. That quarterback, so both quarterbacks, we know.
Yeah, we know.
St. Mary's got a good one. Logansport's got a good one. Which quarterback outduels the other on Thursday night?
Well, St. Mary's is on a 7-game win streak.
Correct.
They lost their. We actually covered their first game, that the game that they lost against Abbeville. We actually covered that game, and we said then that this team was going to be special. And I'll be honest with you, man, they proved us right. But then again, Logansport's good, you know.
Yep.
They are.
Their only two losses was Calvary Baptist and Rose Pine.
Correct. I mean, so you have that. Oh, man. This is going to – you picked some good games, Jordy. I'm going to give the edge to Logansport at home.
That place is going to be rocking.
It's going to be rocking. And St. Mary's, now it wouldn't surprise me if St. Mary's came on top, but I'll be honest with you, I think the home field advantage is going to pick up Logansport to where they're going to do it.
You got to think Logansport playing for a first-round bye also if they get a big win here.
Right.
So a lot more implications on the line. You got district titles they're playing for.
Yeah, this is the district title game. This is absolutely the district title game.
They're playing for a first-round bye in the playoffs, so huge implications down there in Logansport, Louisiana this week. I'm going Logansport.
Right.
You know, looking at them now, I think I'm going to go the other way. I think I'm going to take St. Mary's.
There you go.
1-7 in a row. I think hostile environment ain't gonna get the nerves up too much, and I think they go in there and they put their heads down, take care of business, and they'll take the district title and maybe the first round bye right with it. So I'm gonna take St. Mary's on the road.
Big time game in the state of Louisiana. Thursday night, your defending state champs, Homer, hitting the road to go take on undefeated Glenbrook. We talked to Coach a couple weeks ago, and he told us about this Glenbrook football team. And he said he is headed down there to go watch that one in person. Coach Carufa at North Central. Remember, he used to coach there.
Right.
Glenbrook having a hell of a season. But in order to win the district title, you got to go through Homer. And that place on Thursday night, you better get there early.
You're right.
Because it's going to be a sight to see when Homer and Glenbrook meet. over there in Glenbrook.
Who are Glenbrook's big wins?
Glenbrook went 8-0. They beat Cedar Creek week 1. They beat Haynesville 56-17 in their district opener. So what's going to happen is if Glenbrook wins, they'll be 6-0, and they're going to in the district, and they're going to take the district. If Homer wins this game, because they're 4-0, they still have to play Haynesville, who was 3-1 in the district, with their only loss being against Glenbrook. So Homer would have to win. Yeah,
The next two to win it.
they would have to win the next 2 to win the district for themselves. Haynesville could force a 3-way tie if Homer beats Glenbrook, but if Glenbrook wins it here, it's curtains on the district lead. They have it. They locked it down. I don't think River Oaks would.
Are you picking Glenbrook?
I think I am. I think I am going to take Glenbrook in this one. Kind of just looking at
Good
it.
pick. Good
I mean,
pick, my friend.
it's another one of those games where it's like if you gave me a coin to flip, I probably would go the other way. It's a very tough game
It'll be
to
a
go
tight
with,
game
but
for sure.
yeah, this is another one where I think it's going to be it's going to be tight the whole way through. I think Glenbrook being at home, it's going to be enough for them to get the win.
Homer's only 2 losses this season comes to Union Parish by 4, and then the best team in the state of Arkansas.
Prescott High.
Yeah.
I've heard a little
9-0.
bit about Prescott, and they know how to play defense.
I'm going Homer
I gotta
on
go
the
with,
road.
I was saying the same thing. I got to go with Homer. I mean, I'm sorry. I think that they're going to win on that because the quality of the people that beat them, and they're basically handling everybody else. I'm going to go with Homer.
That's gonna
That's
be
fair.
that's gonna be a tough team to knock out if you want to go through the state champs in the playoffs.
Correct.
Next up, ladies and gentlemen, how about a district showdown between 7-1 Iowa and 7-1 St. Louis? It will be live on Under the Lights, but don't watch it on our platform. Go buy a ticket and go see this one in person. I guarantee it's going to be fireworks. You got 2 well-respected programs. You got 2 outstanding coaching staffs. And you got some passionate fan bases that will meet all at Matt Walker Memorial Stadium Thursday night with a chance to bring the district title home to their respected school. Really good running back at Iowa, really good quarterback at St. Louis, and really good defenses from both. Now we have to pick a winner.
Ooh, you want me to go first on this one?
Go ahead.
Well, I know that this game's going to be very competitive. I know there's going to be a lot of intensity on this game, especially with the fact that this is a district title game. I know Iowa lost to Leesville, but have handled every other test that came their way, and St. Louis lost to a team out in Texas. I think they lost to Vitter, who, if I'm not mistaken, they're
Vida, Texas.
Vida. My
Yeah.
bad. They lost to Vida, and I know they're 5-3 or 4-4, but I mean in Texas,
They're in
it's
Texas.
different. Texas is the second. That's the religion. That might be the main religion in all of Texas is high school football. I don't think we're that far behind, but we're not on Texas level just yet. But anyway, as I was saying, looking at this game, this is another pick 'em. I think if you would justify either taking Iowa or St. Louis to win, you would not be wrong. But that being said, I am going to go St. Louis Catholic to take the district title here in a pretty darn close game.
Big time pick
Yeah.
there from Mr. Brogy.
And I'm with him. I think St. Louis is going to take it.
St. Louis got a really good kicker, and I think he gets a big-time kick late in the 4th. I think this is a close football game
Oh, yeah.
throughout.
Mhm.
It's going to take all 48 minutes. St. Louis Saints in a very close one, and I think it's going to come down to special teams.
Right. Special teams got to be special.
Always.
Don't be, and we may all 3 be wrong here.
Might be.
'cause
It might burn us.
Yeah.
Iowa's running back might go off.
He might.
Nah, this game can go either way in
Oh,
my
yeah.
eyes, but I think home field advantage is going to give St. Louis the edge.
Yep.
Just that much of
Just a
edge.
sliver. Just a sliver. It's probably going to come down to like a 3 or 4 point game,
Yep.
if not less.
5-3 Acadiana headed down to the Crow Dome
The
to
open air
take
Crow Dome.
on 7-1 Karen Crow. In years past, we always lean for the Wrecking Rams in this matchup. Little brother says, "Big brother, come down to my home field and let's battle it out for 48 minutes." And I think Karen Crow in 2022, they get it done at home and they knock off the Wrecking Rams, Gary Swallow.
I won't argue with you, but this is Acadiana. And what do we say? We never want to see Acadiana after A.
And they lost 2 weeks ago.
That's what I'm saying.
And came back and lost again
I
last
know,
week.
but they
So
were
they're on a
playing. They're in a
two-game
two-game losing streak. So just think how mad they are. But you know what?
Uh-oh.
They're playing at the open air Crow Dome against a
that
team.
just scored 70 plus
yeah,
a week ago.
against a team that is just kicking. And, mark it down. 2 weeks in a row, I'm picking against Acadiana. I'm going with
doesn't
Karen
happen
Crow.
Right.
I'm gonna go with Karen Crow at home in the open air Crow Dome. Close ball game, but at the end, I think it's gonna be Karen Crow by a touchdown, by less than a touchdown.
And this is Karen Crow's final game of the regular season, am I correct?
Yes,
I
they have
think so.
They're gonna have a bye week rolling into the playoffs.
Karen Crow could solidify a bye theirself if they get a big win over Acadiana. 'Cause
Correct.
They're sitting right at 5 right now. If I'm not mistaken.
Even Mindy says the Crow's gonna win.
This is a game that I'm.
Talk to me, Brogy.
As long as Bro G,
Bro G.
it's all good though. This is a game that, like I said, as long as Boshan and Hanson still play Friday night, I'm going to this game live. I'll probably
I'll
shoot.
be there.
I'm definitely going to be going to Karen Crow and Acadiana. I'll probably shoot you some updates as the game goes by, let you know scores or whatever. It's kind of weird to see Acadiana. I don't want to say downward spiral because it's not what it is. This is an Acadiana team that ran into two really good teams.
And they're really rebuilding too.
In a way, they
young.
are. Yeah, in
They're
a way,
young.
you're definitely right. They are rebuilding, but I mean, this is still a
Three.
formidable.
3 really good teams.
Yes.
Right. This is still a really formidable team.
And at any point, they can just take off.
Yep.
Can you imagine going against them in the playoffs in the first or second round? Oh my God!
It just depends.
against a teed-off team that just has blood in their eyes, namely the Acadiana Wrecking Rams, but that runs a veer. Okay, need I say more?
So who wins the trenches on Thursday night?
I think this is going to be also a close game. I think this is going to come down to a touchdown. I think it is going to be low scoring. Give me the Crow at home. Place will be rocking. I can't wait to see it live. I have never seen Acadiana and Karen Crow play live. So this will be my first time catching that game. I think the Crow gets it done, which means that I'm probably going to have to sit on the Crow side if that's the case. But yeah, Karen Crow gets it done. Close game, low scoring. It'll probably be something like 17-9 or something like that.
Just FYI, there's no bad seats in that stadium.
Oh, no, there
It's
isn't.
all
There-
good.
That stadium is fantastic for a high school football stadium. It's a fantastic
Right.
place to watch a game.
Friday night football, let's go. Can Pine Prairie have a similar outcome from last week when they team almost reeled off a huge upset over Northwest? Can we
Heartstopper for the
see
Raiders.
that same Pine Prairie team show up 2 weeks in a row? If they show up this week, they will knock off Mamu. Can Mamu get their 4th win of the season as they welcome in Pine Prairie? We all know that Pine Prairie got George in that backfield. He's a special player. Can they get it done on the road, or is it Mamu going to be too strong at home?
The key thing you got to ask yourself, Jordy, is that did Northwest overlook Pine Prairie because Pine Prairie came in winless?
Very possible.
Did they do that? Did they just say, "Oh, it's just Pine"? Blah, blah, blah.
Very possible.
But then you have Mamu that's looking at what they almost did to Northwest. That's going to say, "Hey, we got to make sure we're on our game for this."
They're not
know,
gonna. They're
they're-
not gonna look past Pine Prairie
Yeah.
after what they saw, what they did to Northwest
No,
last week.
I
They're not
mean,
gonna look past them.
They're at home. They have won, and they know how to win. Pine Prairie's looking for a win. Can they be strong enough to go against Mamu's athletes? Because we always talked about this. Mamu has some athletes.
Oh yeah, I saw that firsthand last year when we played
And-
against them.
And so how's this going to work? I gotta say that I'm going to give the edge to Mamu at home with their athletes. I think it's going to be a big play that's going to happen, and it's going to be something's going to give, and it's going to be like a big play that's going to cause the difference of the game. So I'm going with Mamu.
Mamu at home.
I'm also going to take Mamu, as much as I'd like to see Pine Prairie get the win. Like I don't really like to see teams looking at the possibility of 0-10. It's not a fun
Well,
experience.
Pine Prairie has a chance to win the next two.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they do.
afterwards. Yeah, they do.
I do think that Pine Prairie has a decent chance in this game as well as the next game, but I do think Mamu will be a little too much to handle. I think this game will be close.
It will be close.
I think it'll be close, but I think Mamu gets the final say in the fourth quarter, probably with 2 touchdowns to kind of pull away. So I'm gonna take Mamu in order to win this game. I do think I might have went the other way if Pine Prairie would have completed the upset last week, but Mamu has to play Northwest in week 10, and that's gonna be a fun one. And I think Pine Prairie and Port Barry, who I know they're both possibly looking at winless seasons, but that could still be a fun game anyway, as well.
Right. 7-1 Hanson Memorial at 1-7 Beauchamp. You'll be at this one.
I absolutely will be. I will be doing stats for Beauchamp at this game. I mean, as far as seasons go, I've been around Beauchamp since 2010 when I started there as a freshman. When I started going to school there as a freshman. I've never seen the injury bug.
If you need to say I'm not picking this game, please don't.
Look, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna back out. But at the same time, I have to go with my heart. I am going to take Beauchamp, whether I am Nostradamus or just a fool. It doesn't matter. This is my alma mater. I'm gonna pick them anyway. And I probably won't be able to go back over there Friday if I do pick against them. So
You know who told us that one time? Mr. Chris. Chris said, I don't care who he just plays that week. I'm still picking him.
that's
Yeah,
fair.
He sure did. He
Yeah,
sure
I
did.
mean, that's they're my alma mater. I've been helping them out for over a decade in various ways, and regardless of the situation, I will pick them. So
Okay, well, we understand.
Hanson Memorial comes in a little bit more healthier.
a little bit.
than
They're
They're a lot healthier. They're a lot healthier for sure.
They're going to come in and get the road win. Hanson Memorial moves to 8-1 on the season. You agree, Gary?
I agree. I think it's going to be. And don't take this the wrong way, but I think it's going to be a one-sided ball game.
That's fair. I can see why you would think that. I can. You're
And-
not
I'm gonna tell you, that breaks my heart because I hate to see teams like you say go over. I mean, we've been involved with a couple of seasons at our alma
I've had a
mater
couple seasons at
like that,
Beauchamp. 2012,
yeah,
2018.
Yeah, well, this has been we're working on our second one in a row that we might have at our home at our alma mater. But so I don't like to see that. But
No.
I
You-
just think Hanson's going to be too much.
That's fair.
You wish you could see where this Beauchamp team would be at right now if they'd have stayed healthy.
Oh,
Yeah,
man,
I feel like
yes.
we would have gotten a couple more. We would have gotten a few more wins, and we would have been competitive in a lot more of these games. Because I mean, we had a damn good quarterback get hurt the first series
Yeah.
of the first game,
Correct.
and then it just, as far as the injury bug went, it all went downhill from
Well,
there.
we watched y'all
Twice.
play twice, but with the one in Northwest, and y'all, it was a receiver, wide receiver, I think number 18. if I'm not
Mayfield,
mistaken.
we ended up moving him to quarterback.
Yeah, well, he went down, and then they had to carry him basically off the field,
Mhm.
and it was like, oh my God, man, it's like that. And I have a friend of mine who's a
It was
teacher.
Actually, it
out
was
there.
19 that went down.
might
He
have
went
been- it
down
was
with the
19.
season-ending knee injury.
Okay, yeah.
They were
Well,
down to their
Oh God.
third or fourth third or fourth quarterback when we showed up for the Abbeville game.
Right. It was
Number
it was,
3. It was number
it was
3.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yep.
Because they
so-
switched. They had switched Jones with Mayfield at that point.
So
Jones wasn't injured. They just put him back at receiver, and then he eventually got hurt too, sadly. So I'm hoping that next year we should have a
and
good
small
little
senior
crew of
group,
freshmen.
so
Yeah, it's a small senior group. We should have a pretty good freshman class coming in. Hopefully, a few of those guys can give us a little bit of juice into the roster, and hopefully next year we're not as injury riddled, and hopefully we'll be more competitive. I'm definitely hoping that we can be more competitive and hopefully more healthy.
I understand that. Hopefully that'll work.
1-7 to Quincy at 3-5 Lake Arthur. District matchup between these two. Lake Arthur to Quincy. The Quincy has owned this series, but I think when we meet up in 2022, I think this is going to be Lake Arthur's night.
Right.
What do you think, Gary?
I think so, and Jake, I'm sorry to tell you this, but I think that it's going to be Lake Arthur. I think it's going to be close. First half they're going to kind of play back and forth a little bit, but I think Lake Arthur's going to pull away at the end.
Yeah, I agree there. I think Lake Arthur gets a big time win at home, and they better off their seeding into the playoffs with a big time win.
I don't know too much about either one of these teams, but I think I'm gonna go. I think I'll be in agreement with y'all. I'm gonna take I'll take Lake Arthur in this one. I don't really know a lot about either team.
Okay. How about a couple of 2-6 teams meeting up in Sulphur, Louisiana on Friday night? Nish, Sulphur. Who wins this game? Quick pick here.
This one could go either way. Give me the Golden Tours at home.
I'm with you. I think the home field advantage is going to help them, but Nish is not playing very well.
Nish is doing a lot better than they were
Nish
last year,
goes
though.
From a 0-10 team to finding 2 wins on the season.
And then they almost beat Karen Crow.
They could make this a 4-6 season, and a lot of people would say that's a lot of success.
Oh yeah, to go from 0 wins to 4 with 10-game seasons, yeah, that's a pretty good jump. And they've been playing competitive with some pretty good teams I know as well, because they were playing competitive with Karen Crow for a good portion of that game. So
Yep.
Nish I think is trending in the right direction. They just gotta stay the course and trust the process.
Doesn't help to be in that district.
No,
Right.
it doesn't. It doesn't. That district is one of, if not the strongest, in 5A.
All right, we talked about it during the headline portion of the show earlier. Can Jennings find a way to get Coach into that playoffs? It starts on Friday night, but it won't be easy. They got to go down to Lake Charles College Prep and get a road win. You got to think the guys are motivated and fired up to play for Coach here on out.
Jordy, I think this is going to be the hardest game for me to pick because I'll be honest with you, I like Prep. I like Lake Charles College Prep. I think they always have, but I also like Jennings. I mean, I think that Jennings going to have people, a reason to play. He decided he's going to retire and everything. I mean, they got a reason to play now. So, I mean, but they got to go down to Lake Charles. I think I'm going to go Prep.
Gary, I'm going to agree with you here. I think Lake Charles College Prep on senior night win a close one. It's going to be a thrilling game for 4 quarters. I think Prep wins a close one.
Give me LC Prep as well. LC Prep, they're also another school that's a little bit better than what their records say. I mean, they lost to Westgate, OHS, St. James, St. Louis, Iowa. These are all 5 teams that are playing fantastic football. I mean, if some of those games could have easily went the other way. 2 of these were 1-possession games. One was a 1-point game. So LCA, if you flipped it the other way, they'd be 5-3, and they would have had to probably play St. Louis for that district. They ended up losing that game, sure, but I mean, if you'd flip those games all the way, they'd be second in the district, no problem. But LC Prep will get it done against Jennings. I think that's another game where Jennings will be fired up. They will definitely try to win this for Coach. I don't know if it'll be enough. I don't think it'll be enough. But I do think this game will be a little more competitive than people think it will.
Lowerville, Catholic, and New Iberia, both teams coming off of a loss from last week. Now they meet in a pivotal district matchup,
Check and see
and
where
they
they are. in
don't
district.
really like each other much.
Ooh.
They're very close to each other.
They're very close to each other, and
And-
there's a lot of bad blood between those two
Right.
teams every year. Never fails.
Well, I mean that's rivals. That's what rivals do. I mean, and
They're definitely
ooh,
no
boy.
exception.
Catholic and New Iberia at home wins one of the might be game of the night calibers. So give me Catholic and New Iberia.
As much as I don't want to do this, I do think Catholic wins. Laurelville's kind of been a little bit up and down, and I understand this might be a little bit of a rebuilding year as far as with all the success they had last year. I know they lost quite a bit of talent due to graduation, but with Catholic winning this game and then them beating Ascension Episcopal, this really puts them in the driver's seat, and they could end up being tied with Franklin for the district title at the end. So I think Catholic and New Iberia gets it done. I would have absolutely no problem with being wrong on this pick, but I'm gonna go with my head on this one and just and pick Catholic.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think Catholic is going to be too strong.
We're gonna have to speed up these picks
Sounds good.
because we're running out of time.
All right.
Let's go.
Northwest Field Plat. Who wins this game?
Northwest.
Northwest. That scare's gonna wake Coach Edwards' team up.
I agree. Northwest on the road. How about Bolton fighting for their playoff lives against Bunkie this week? Can Bunkie get it done at home?
I'm taking Bolton. Give me the Bears.
I'm going to go with that too.
I think that's a safe pick to pick Bolton. Bolton's a pretty good team.
I'm going to go Bolton myself. How about Holy Savor Menard versus Mr. 70 Plus theirself and 5-2 Oakdale? Fear to Veer is in full machine. Start the truck. Oakdale Warriors are about to put it in gear.
Yep. They're gonna the
Mikey,
Bears gonna run them over. Give me the Warriors.
Mikey's going to get it done, get his team ready. Look out, Oakdale.
Oh yeah.
Turlings Rebels bounce back big way this week. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
They will take care of business against Northside.
Northside.
If this was a decade ago, this game would be a lot more competitive.
Northside goes to Rebel Stadium this week. Turlings coming off of a loss. That's a bad break for the Vikings, catching Turlings off of a loss.
Yeah.
You're right on that.
Catholic Appointed P brings in a 7-1 record into North Central. North Central's homecoming this week. You know they're going to get up for it, but I think physicality just overwhelms the high-powered offense of North Central. Give me
Right.
Hornets on the road.
Catholic Appoint Peak.
Catholic Point Complete takes care of this, but North Central went through multiple winless seasons, and they got 3 this year. That's impressive for them.
Very
I'm
impressive.
happy. I'm happy for them. But I do think Point Complete takes care of it. All right.
How about 3-5 Livonia? Big win last week for the Wildcats, but they have to regroup and get ready to take on a Cecilia Bulldog team. The Bulldogs coming off of a loss, and you know they're hungry to get back in the win column. I think they do get back in the win column at home this week.
Yes, Cecilia.
I've seen them both play live. Livonia may give them fits for like a quarter, but the Bulldogs are going to take care of it afterwards. Give me the Bulldogs.
LCA, no problems with Westgate last week. You knew LCA would come back strong after that Hail Mary loss to Turlings. And they took their frustration out on Westgate last week. Nobody saw a lopsided score then.
I didn't either. I think I had Westgate winning that.
And then now they take on North Vermilion. North Vermilion, big win last week over Northside. But this week they got LCA.
LCA.
LCA on the road.
The Crusaders will crusade on.
The Knights.
Oh, the Knights. Wait. Oh, I'm thinking of a different school. Never mind. That's my bad. Oh man. Well, the Knights will they'll do the thing. Yeah.
Eunice has a
Telling me
tough
a little sorry.
task this week, slowing down Leesville's running back. Only one team has slowed down the Leesville running back this year, and it was the OHS Tigers. OHS Tigers not lining up on the other side of the ball on Friday night. Can the Bobcats slow him down, or does Leesville move to 8-1 on the year?
Leesville.
You know what? I'm gonna go the other way. I'm taking the upset here.
Give
Give me Eunice.
like the Bobcats, huh?
I'm gonna. I will quote one of our former head coaches. Josh is over there now, so I tend to pull for Eunice.
There you
So.
go. I like
I think the Bobcats can do it. That's a team that's a little bit better than their record as well.
Chris done said Livonia on the road. Chris, don't you want them PowerPoints? Or you gonna get PowerPoints regardless?
Yeah.
You play both the schools, so what
That's
am
I
I?
mean,
talking
Livonia.
what am I talking about?
Like I said, Livonia could give Cecilia fits. I mean, it just depends on if Cecilia will be motivated enough after that devastating loss.
7-1 Opelousas Tigers looking for an outright district championship for the first time since 1994. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
That's probably right.
They're going to head down to a 4-4 Brobridge football team playing really well as of late. Can Brobridge knock off the Tigers at home? Tigers versus Tigers.
Yep.
Or is OHS too strong? 4 got a cannon, 22 is a bull, and that defense is one of the best defenses I've seen from OHS in a very, very long time.
OHS big.
I'm also going to agree with that. OHS should win that game running away, but I mean, like I said, maybe Robridge gives them fits, but I'm not as sure that they'll do that. I think OHS takes care of business.
Outright district champs bring the trophy home.
Right.
OHS.
Right.
Homecoming night for the Basile Bearcats, ladies and gentlemen. 7-1 Basile Bearcats, currently ranked in the top 10 of the Division IV non-select playoffs. They welcome in Maryville with a 3-5 record on homecoming night. I think welcoming back all of the alumni, they're gonna be happy on Friday night after the Basile Bearcats get it done at home. I think the Bearcats roll, and they're gonna roll big in this one.
Most definitely. Most
Yep.
definitely. Yes.
Basile's going to take it.
Gary,
Yes, sir.
Basile, we could be seeing them in
Oh,
the beginning rounds of the playoffs.
yes, we sure could.
Whenever we get ready to cover a playoff game,
Yes, that is very possible.
very possible. But before we get there, Basile has a district championship game next Friday night against East Borgard.
Right.
That should be a fun one.
That's going to be exciting.
That's going to be exciting. Outright district championship next Friday on the line for the Bearcats, or a 3-way tie.
Correct.
Yep.
So we will see. But before we get there, Basile has to take on Maryville at home.
Oh, and they will. I believe that Basile will take care of business. So.
And I think this type of game benefits the Bearcats. They're begging for it to rain
You're right.
because they love ground and pound type of football.
Oh, yeah.
Get down and dirty and win in the trenches.
Oh, yeah. Maybe play some keep away at the end to make sure.
Lafayette. We said that Lafayette was on the bubble, correct?
Right.
Well, I didn't realize Lafayette had to go play Southside this week. They might knock themselves off of that bubble watch if they don't knock off Southside this week. They're going to play this game at St. Martinville High School. Sharks are 7-1 on the season. Sharks make it 8-1. Sharks are a really good football team this year.
Yeah. Southside.
fantastic defense. I think Coach Fontenot is going to keep these guys focused, even though they got through the two biggest tests. They still have 2 games to play. He's going to keep them focused, and Southside's going to get it done. They'll win the next game, too. I'm going to also say that.
Southside District champs, first time in school history.
Yep. They've only been around about 4 or 5 years now.
What a moment for that young program there.
Crazy how good they became this early in their history.
Yes.
4-4 Kaplan in the Capacity Show, headed down to undefeated 8-0 Church Point. Church Point putting on, a 30-game regular season win streak or something?
Yeah.
Coming into this
Close to it.
season?
Yeah.
Close to it.
3-headed monster of Church Point versus the Capacity Show from Kaplan. This game really competitive. When these two teams met back in the Jamboree, can Kaplan find a way to knock off Church Point on the road, or is Church Point too strong 9 weeks into the season?
Church Point at home.
Oh, the Bears are going to do what they do best, and that's win. And they win a lot. And they might win this game by a lot. I think that Church Point is extremely capable of stopping the running game in its tracks. So give me the Bears.
The Battling Bears at home move to 9-0 in the season. Keep an eye on the Bears. Where will they finish up in the rankings? How about the Ritter and Rain? 5-3 versus 4-4. Who wins this game, the Ritter or Rain?
Give me the Dragons. I'm going to take the Ritter in this one. Slight edge. This game should be pretty close, I think.
Gary?
I'm going Rain.
Gary's going Rain.
Home field.
Mr. B's going to Ritter. And I'm going to Ritter myself. The Ritter, big win last week over Eunice. I think they make it back-to-back wins, and they take down Rain this week. 5-3 Oak Grove at 6-2 General Trask. Trask welcomes in Oak Grove. Oak Grove, Mr. Jesse, if Mr. Jesse's still in the chat, this one's for you. Give me Oak Grove on the road.
Oh, this one's going to be a tough one. I know that both of these teams are pretty darn good. If Oak Grove plays like they did when they at the beginning of the season, I think they win this game. Give me Oak Grove. I'll take Oak Grove on the road in this one.
I was going with them myself.
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if General Trask ends up beating them, though.
7-1 Episcopal against 5-3 East Feliciana last week. East Feliciana lost by 1 score to a really good Dunham team. Now they bounce back at home this week against Episcopal, or is the Knights too strong on the road?
I'm going Episcopal.
Give me Episcopal as well.
I'm going to go East Feliciana at home.
Okay. I mean, I think that could I think that's pretty close to a 50-50 game too. I mean, they're both pretty close to each other as far as talent goes. I think this game probably its biggest thing will be coaching. Okay. Well, who out coaches the other? Which team?
5-3 Richwood at 7-0 Carroll. So we talked about Carroll earlier. Only 6 available coaches on the staff coming into this week. Richwood coming off of a 1-point loss to Union Parish last week. Big time matchup up north this week. Does Carroll stay undefeated this week, or is Richwood gonna go knock off Carroll on the road?
This game would have been a lot easier to pick if all that controversy with the coaches didn't happen today. If that didn't get announced, I mean, I'd pick Carroll running away, but I do think that with this new development, I think this absolutely hurts or could possibly destroy their state title ambitions.
And it's not like they lost any players from
right.
this. The players are still going
to be there, which is why, like I said, losing the coaches is going to hurt, and I think it destroys their state championship aspirations, but it's not going to hurt them this week. Carroll, I think, takes care of business against a pretty game Richwood team.
Yeah.
But this is what I got to ask. Did the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator, were that part of the groups that got suspended? Who? You have 8 coaches left. If you still have an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator, You
Six
know,
off. Six
you
out of
got-
15.
Yeah, but
9 got
okay,
suspended.
okay.
So out of those 6, if one
out
of
of
them's
those
a
6,
coordinator, yeah.
who's left? Is it the coordinators? Are the coordinators there? Are they still left because they were on the field? You know, and all that. Who all this that got suspended or whatever? That's going to be it. But like you said, the players are still there.
Yep. Like I said, I think this hurts them in the playoffs. It's not going to hurt them in the regular season, though.
I'm going to say, man, that's a hard thing to do. I'm going to cross my fingers and hope Carroll can play that, and I'm going to go with them.
Okay.
I'm going Road Dogs, Richwood on the road. The way they played Union Parish last week,
Very impressive.
very impressive. I got to roll with them this week. I think they pull off a close win. Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of the week. My fiance, getting married Saturday.
Whoa.
Yeah, buddy.
It is that time of the week. Holly's lock of the week is here. And she was challenged by Mr. Troy in the chat. Mr. Troy said, you got to pick tougher games for your lock of the week. Well, let's go with Holly's lock of the week this week. Holly comes in with a 7-1 record on the season. She said she is finishing this out 14-1. Big time
We'll see.
matchup this week. Holly's lock of the week goes to St. James over Berwick. Holly rolling with St. James this week. Mr. Troy, that should give you a little smile. 6-2 Berwick at 7-1 St. James. Holly says lock it in. So does the panel lock it in also?
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely agreeing with Holly on this one.
Go ahead.
St. James is looking at a district title game next week against E.D. White. And that game is going to be a barn burner. Give me St. James.
St. James.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. St.
Holly
James.
looking to go 8-1. Franklin Parish, Neville at home.
Not picking against Neville. That's not happening.
Neville at home.
I know Mr. Swallow doesn't tend to pick against Acadiana. I'm kind of the same way with Neville. I don't tend to pick against them.
Couple of 6-2 teams in that district race.
Mhm.
Westgate trying to avoid a 3-game losing skid as they had to take on 7-1 St. Thomas More. St. Thomas More can wrap up the district title this week, and I think they will. They're going to celebrate a district championship and a potential first-round bye with a home win at Cougar Stadium this week.
I agree with you. I'm going to go with that.
I'm going to have to agree as well. I think maybe if Westgate would have won one of those 2 games, this game would be a lot tougher to pick. But, I mean, I've been burned picking STM against Westgate before, so it would not surprise me if Westgate decided to throw a monkey wrench in the plans. But
They could very well do it.
But I'll go safe here. I'll pick STM.
Final 2 games of the night, ladies and gentlemen. How about a couple of undefeated teams meeting in Week 9? 8-0 Destrehan, 8-0 East St. John. Somebody's got to win. Somebody's got to lose. Who's played the tougher schedule?
Destrehan has a monster defense. And the defense on the road is going to be tested, but they're going to pass that test.
Mm-hmm.
Even the Destrehan Wildcats on the road in this one.
I think Destrehan, we talked about Destrehan being a silent 8-0 all year. We were
absolutely.
talking about David.
Absolutely.
I think, I'll be honest with you, I think Destrehan's got a chance. They're going to go undefeated. So I'm going Destrehan.
I agree.
Who did East St. John play?
I'm going to check real fast. Just give me a second. Okay. East St. John had played St. James.
What was that score?
That score was 28-20. They the rest of their schedule's been kind of average, if not a little bit below average, to be honest.
And Destrehan is that good. Give me Destrehan on the road.
Yeah, their schedule's not been the their schedule hasn't been the best as far as records go either. Both of them have not had the toughest schedules, but they've both been dominant. They've both been undefeated. You can't take that away from them.
Correct.
So,
Yep.
East St. John's had the better quality win when you look at all of this, but Destrehan's defense has only allowed 27 points all season through 8 games. And they've been averaging about 45 points scored. So.
Great matchup on Friday night.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Final game of the night, ladies and gentlemen, to pick. And it's our Friday night game. 7-1. Central Catholic, your number 1 ranked team in the state of Louisiana in the Division IV private school bracket.
I did notice that there was one game that we left out, and I understand why we left it out because both teams haven't won a game yet this year. LaGrange and Washington Marion going to be playing. They're both looking for their first win. LaGrange has the longest losing streak in the state at 22. So if they win, they'll break the longest losing streak.
And then we would have it.
Yeah.
Actually, I think yes.
Yeah.
Would have it, yeah.
But then again, y'all could break it next week against Pine Prairie too. So maybe y'all wouldn't have it at the end of the year.
Yep.
We don't know.
7-1.
Hoping for that.
Central Catholic, number 1 ranked team in the state of Louisiana, heads down to Screaming Eagle Stadium to take on the number 2 ranked team in the state of Louisiana at a unblemished 8-0 records. Big time game. And you have big time players in this football game. Who wins this one? You know the environment is going to be nuts. You know it's going to be big time football between these 2 smaller schools. And we can't wait to get out there and witness this one in person. And don't count out a potential rematch once the playoffs roll around.
You're right.
They may very well be destined to play again.
Destined to play again. We never know what's in store. But before we get to the playoffs Friday night, these 2 teams will clash for 48 minutes. Really good defense versus good defense. Really good offense versus really good offense. Could special teams make the difference in this one? Or is it going to be turnover battle?
I'll be honest with you. I think this game's going to be wide open. I think this game is going to be a track meet. I think it's going to be boom, 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 boom. I'm going with VC. I think VC being undefeated. I know Central Catholic flipped them from last week. And I know, but, you know, they're number 1 and 1A. They can't be 1 and 2 because they're both really good teams. And how you going to flip an undefeated team? I just don't understand what the rankings and everything are. But, you know, that's why I'm from Port Barry and I'm kind of dumb sometimes.
They knocked off an undefeated team last week.
Well, right, and I understand.
Them knocking off Hanson helped them out.
Yeah, that helped them out. But I think VC is going to take this game. I think it's going to be a barn burner, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But I think VC is going to come out on top.
Like I said, this could very well be the game of the week for all of the area, maybe the entire state. We're going to have a lot of good games this week, though, if we're being realistic. I think that we will see some offense, but I actually do think that we'll see some tough defensive plays. I would not be too surprised if this is a game that it caps out in the 20s for both teams. It could the defenses could decide to show up and just say, well, we don't want y'all running all over us or throwing the ball all over us, you know? I think it could come. I think the defense will be a little bit more of a factor than I think some people will consider. And then I also think that the special teams will be big as well with that, whether it be turnovers or maybe getting that clutch kickoff or return.
Field position will matter.
Yeah, field position will matter the entire way through this game, regardless on how much is scored or how little is scored. That being said, home field advantage will go to VC, and I think it'll be enough to carry them. Like I'm gonna say, like maybe 30-27 or something like that.
Nice. So we should be in for a treat then.
Oh yeah.
Vermilion Catholic and Screaming Eagle Stadium. I can't wait to see their environment in person. I think that's going to be the difference maker. Home field advantage, and the Screaming Eagles defense gets it done in a close war for 4 quarters.
I think it's going to be an awesome game. I think it's going to be crazy.
Absolutely. There's not too many more games I could have picked that could possibly be better than this.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our picks this week for Thursday and Friday. But I do have a bonus pick that I would like to throw in there. How about senior night this week for Westminster of Lafayette Chargers? They're taking on Montgomery High School. It'll be a 7 p.m. kickoff from Broussard Sports Complex. This is going to be their first senior football class in school history for Westminster of Lafayette Chargers. Can the Chargers send their seniors out the right way and get a big-time win on tomorrow night? What is your thoughts?
I'll be honest with you. I think this is an exciting atmosphere. I think they're playing very good ball. And I know they're new to the LHSAA as far as getting into it.
This team would be in the playoffs if they were eligible.
If they were eligible, yes, they would. And,
Are they eligible next year, or they have to wait another?
I think it's 2 years.
So after next year, they'll be eligible. Okay.
Correct. I'm going to give them a plus and a thumbs up. I think they're going to send them out with a win.
I think they'll win this game, and they'll win it running away. Montgomery's kind of a little down in the dumps. And like I said, I don't necessarily like seeing that, but being realistic, Westminster Lafayette will take care of business and do so rather easily.
So a memory that will last a lifetime
Yep.
for the first ever senior group for Westminster of Lafayette. Big time win. And I think the offense is going to explode on Thursday night. And then they got Thrive next week. I think they're okay there. And then Coach said he's trying to set up a bowl game and take the team down to Florida to play in it.
Nice.
Yeah, that's going to be nice. I mean,
I hope
I'm going
they
to
get
tell
it.
you what they're doing with this program is amazing. I think they're setting the foundation in the positive way that needs to be done.
2 years from now, watch out for this Charger football team.
Oh, yeah, they're going to be good.
They're going to be good.
So Coach said we got to reward the team somehow. They worked really hard. It's the first senior group. So trying to set up that team to go down to Florida and play a football game. So you got big fans here on Under the Lights, Coach. Keep up the great work. We can't wait to see what's in store in 2023.
Oh, yeah.
That concludes our game picks, ladies and gentlemen, for Week 9. Tomorrow night and Friday night, we got a lot of football. But as before we get there, Gary,
Yes.
close us out on Week 9 thoughts, both of y'all.
I think Week 9, as far as our slate of games or whatnot, I think, honestly, from top to bottom, whether you're looking at teams that are competing or teams that may not necessarily be competing or just even teams looking for their first win, this might honestly be as good as it gets this year. I think Week 9 could end up being possibly a better slate of games than Week 10, which is normally weird because usually Week 10 you see a lot of de facto district title games. You see a lot of teams also searching for first wins against other teams that are doing that too, and then playoff battles and stuff like that. And it'll all still be there for Week 10. But it seems like, at least with the slate of games that we have, it seems like there's going to be a little bit more on the line this week than maybe next. And I could be wrong. But that's just my first impression of it. And I look at these games. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on all of them throughout both days. Like I said, I will be going to Acadia and at Karen Crow tomorrow night. I'll shoot you some updates as the game goes by. I'll give you some quarter scores or something like that, you know. And yeah, I'm grateful that y'all had me here. It's been a great experience. I think I could kind of tell I was getting a little tired at the end. It's a little bit past my bedtime, but that's all good. I didn't expect to have to work tomorrow, but when I found out, I was like, I'm not going to back out of this. I'm still going to stick by and do it this week. So
we appreciate you coming in.
oh yeah, hopefully I can be back relatively soon whenever y'all have me.
That's fine.
Gary closes out.
All right, guys. Well, first of all, I want to thank everybody for that supports Under the Lights. All of these guys right here, these helmets that you see, they're here because we support high school athletics. And I want to have a message to all of you student athletes. We talk about this every week about what you need to do to perform and everything like that. But, you know, the playoffs are coming. And the ones that are in the playoffs, they're going to be working really hard to achieve a championship. But for those that are not ready for the playoffs, are not going to make the playoffs, you got to play every game, every down as if it was your last, because it may well be your last. High school sports, there's nothing like it. We enjoy it. We love it. That's why we're here. That's why we do what we do. And I want to thank Jordy for starting this this Under the Lights program and allowing me to be a part of it. But I want to challenge all of you guys in sports, in high school sports. Every time you put on those shoulder pads, every time you put on that helmet and tie up those cleats, go out there and do your best, because, you know, this may be the end of your football career. Not everybody's going to be a college player. Not everybody's going to be a pro player. And we're blessed enough to have met and known people that have gone to the next level. But keep working hard, be proud, do your best, and hold your head up high.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our Week 9 edition of our sit-down show. Tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen, live from Matt Walker Memorial Stadium, it will be a district championship showdown between your 5th-ranked Iowa Yellow Jackets and your 10th-ranked St. Louis Saints. And then Friday night, it's number 1. It's number 2. Big-time district matchup, big-time implications of number 1 rankings. Central Catholic, Vermilion Catholic from Screaming Eagle Stadium. And then Friday night, you got the recap show with myself and Mr. Gary Swallow. And then next time you see me on Wednesday, I'll be a married man, Mr. Swallow.
Yes, sir, you will.
Woo.
And we're going to make sure he goes through with it, because we're going to be hauling him down the aisle.
Best of luck to all the teams from around the state of Louisiana this week. Stay dry, ladies and gentlemen. All those teams that moved up a week ahead.
Or a day ahead.
And all those teams that are going to just battle it out and play some good old-fashioned football in the rain on Friday. We can't wait to see what's in store. Should be a lot of wows. Should be a lot of whats. Should be a lot of woes when we get down here for our recap show. Gary Swallow, we are almost here to playoff football. It's a week and a half away.
Started off 8 weeks ago, and we're on number 9. And before you know it, we're in the playoffs. Where has the time gone? It's crazy.
Who's going to lock up a first-round bye? Who's going to be our district champions? Who's going to be playing on Thanksgiving week? Who's going to be playing that very song, Walking to New Orleans?
We're going to see.
A lot more.
Only time will tell.
A lot more to go for this season. We're a long way from finish. But as of for tonight, we will close the door on week 9 sit-down show. From myself,
Mr. Enoch Brogy,
and Gary Swallow.
we say good night, and we'll see you tomorrow night from Sulphur, Louisiana.